It's time for a simple, pure cash deal. I have money, do you have spirit calming incense? No, Han Jiakan, as a professional player you tell your patron you have nothing, you are too willful, that is how you lose a big client, you know? The big client Han Jiakan silently swore a harsh line in his heart and asked again, when will you have some? In half a month, or if I have spare time I will stroll the market. Orders in the guild are already overflowing and you still wander the trade market? Most guild deals pay cash, I want money and I also want points, I grab with both hands. To grab with both hands, damn it. Points are hard to collect, I can barely cover my own needs, there are none left to splurge. Last time you tagged everyone to DM for a deal, I happened to be in the game and missed it. Han Jiakan refused to give up, can't you cut me some slack? You missed it, but Kong Trakedyung made it, he even booked 100 sticks of spirit calming incense. Van Sam was surprised, aren't you two the president and vice president of the same association? Han Jiakan. He instantly felt fully revived, as if his blood bar refilled, he felt he could do it again. Counting from 1 to 100. Kong Trakedyung looked at the little hill of incense sticks and smiled with happiness. In these times who does not stay up late or work overtime, who does not carry some little aches and pains? This one has rheumatism and on rainy days the joints swell and throb, that one drinks for socializing, young yet with a stomach ailment, in the hospital every few days, others buckle under pressure and suffer sleep disorders, lying down early with drowsy eyes yet unable to fall asleep until near dawn. They have taken medicine and stayed in hospitals with little effect. To ease the torment, many in their friend circles, like getting a shot of chicken blood, lay in wait for months hoping to snatch a registration code. Yet each week there are only 3,000 slots and the scramble is all about speed, the lucky are few, some wait half a year and still fail to grab one. Those who do get a code enter the game only to rant every day that a game makes them farm, chop wood, and mine and that they have never suffered such a big hardship in this life. Even Kong Trakedyung, who keeps watch over a precious hairline, at times finds it hard to swallow. Now it is good, with spirit calming incense in hand, the days will no longer be as tough. Fired with ambition, he planned how to distribute 100 sticks reasonably. He set a plan then overturned it, weighing and reweighing, never satisfied. While he was pondering, Han Jiakan showed up, eyes bright, are we brothers or not? He was puzzled but answered, we are. Who pulled you into the game? You. If you had come a few months later you might not have gotten a code, does that count as me helping you? Alarm bells rang in Kong Trakedyung's head, what do you want, say it straight. The dialogue made his heart race with unease. Good brothers share blessings and bear hardships, you bought 100 sticks of spirit calming incense, can you split half with me? Who are you, do I even know you, get out AAA. Half an hour later, Han Jiakan hugged a box, carrying 50 sticks, elated as he went off to do NPC diplomacy. Inside the room, Kong Trakedyung howled in pain, cursing fair weather friends. Van Sam had planned a full checkup for Luke Min, but after one sleep he was no longer lucid, whatever she did he was dazed and uncooperative, so she had to let it go. With Chef Man and Tan Van handling 3 meals a day for the beasts, Van Sam was much freer and slipped into the alchemy room whenever she had time to make incense and pay off debts. A few days later, holding 300 fresh-made cords of incense, she prepared to head out, seeing this, Big Black dashed over and stuck to her side. Luke consciously caught up to guard her. With her bodyguards assembled, she set off for the trade market. On the way they passed a large swath of ruined buildings, some already reduced to rubble. More than 20 NPCs were hauling timber and repairing in earnest. Van Sam paused. At the end of June the beast tide erupted and many beasts attacked the camp. Buildings were destroyed one after another and casualties were not few, if not for the great one breaking through hard to 5 stars. Luke's eyes dimmed and he fell silent. Let's go. Van Sam withdrew her gaze. Entering the market, Van Sam said as usual to the staff, I want to list pills. Please wait a moment. A moment later the staff hurried back with someone, not the gatekeeping quality control expert but an NPC called Director Chu. Hello, I am in charge of the trade market, there are a few things to confirm. His smile was warm, can spirit calming incense be supplied long term, how soon for the next batch? It uses common materials, long-term supply is possible, a batch every 3 to 7 days. 3 to 7 days? Director Chu frowned, is the process very troublesome? No, Van Sam shook her head, there is a sick person at home and other work over my head, I may not always have time to make incense. If she has time she makes a batch, if not she rests, adjusting flexibly. Director Chu was stumped. Since the incense became a hit, countless residents and other world travelers came daily to ask, how long till supply, will it be sold later, can they be notified secretly in advance? The same questions repeated until staff could not bear it, some even thought of resigning. Everyone knows a job at the trade market is an iron rice bowl with high pay, good benefits, safety, and reasonable hours, a place many fight to enter, yet even good perks cannot withstand answering the same thing 800 times a day. Forced to be emotionless Q&A machines, they suffered. To rescue his subordinates, Director Chu decided to solve it at the root. Unfortunately, the party concerned remained unmoved and even disliked the delay. If you are done asking, can we run the process to put my incense on the shelf? I am racing the clock. Van Sam bargained. If we warm up demand beforehand, the sales will surge. Director Chu had barely started when Van Sam said, it is fine, it sells anyway, we will do whatever is convenient. After a beat she added, and the incense must be made by my own hand, output is steady yet naturally low, it will not swing wildly. To put it plainly, even if customers have money she might still not sell. His prepared persuasion went unused, Director Chu could only concede defeat. On the way back, Van Sam strolled the shopping street. 1-star red chicken belly crabs, marine farms specialize in breeding, 10 points a gene. 2-star tiger pelt rabbit pups, 50 points each. 1-star wild
books.
white heron ducks, 10 points a gene, buy fast. She stopped before a shop whose sign read, bulk sale of 1-star and 2-star wolf dogs, 1-star 30 points each, 2-star 100 points each, no haggling. She stepped inside. Wolf dogs are in the cages, browse freely. The shopkeeper greeted her without much enthusiasm. Van Sam examined them up close, the pups were yellow-black or jet-black, eyes bright, coats clean, pacing with vigor. Where are they from? Homebred, a litter can be 10, we cannot afford to raise them all so we must find them clean new homes. There was helplessness in his tone, if you buy from us you must accept return visits and absolutely no abuse. All right. After a lap she decided, 6 2-star wolf dog pups in total, I will take them all. The shopkeeper could not hide his shock and warned, beasts grow very fast, do not be fooled by how small they are now, in about 2 months they will be adults and their feed will be very different. 6 adult 2-star wolf dogs can eat a regular household into ruin. It is fine, I can afford it. Van Sam smiled, return visits are fine, I accept. The shopkeeper finally relaxed, leave an address, I will tidy them up and deliver the 6 pups myself. Okay. After they left, Luke spoke, one person can contract with only one beast, the manor already has a 4-star white tiger cub, there is no need to buy 2-star wolf dogs. For ordinary people yes, my situation is special, I can tame multiple beasts. Rarely, Van Sam told the truth. Hearing that, Luke said nothing more and followed quietly. Back at the manor, the shopkeeper soon delivered the 6 pups along with their favorite toys and snacks. Seeing that, Van Sam gifted some camphor bone chews in return, she had made them herself, originally as treats for Big Black, now sharing a portion. When I have time I will make you another batch. She soothed gently. Big Black barked AA in a carefree way. The shopkeeper looked over the endless fields and was stunned, all this is yours? Me 50 plots, 5 farmhands, 2 cooks, 1 3-star wolf dog, 5 3-star white standards, and 1 4-star white tiger cub, by any measure a small landowner. The shopkeeper studied Big Black, the coat gleamed, limbs were strong, the eyes were clear and full of trust and attachment to the master. Reassured, he handed over his contact, the pups are in your care, here is my info, call me if anything comes up while raising them. While adding him as a friend, Van Sam asked, do you have any other 2-star pups for sale elsewhere? 6 are not enough? Not enough. The shopkeeper wondered if she planned a battle pet business. Long ago people noticed that raising beast pups at one side from young greatly increases contract chances. Still, the odds were not high and those with battle pets remained few. About a year ago a faction armed everyone with a 2-star wolf dog and their combat power spiked. People then realized wolf dogs still keep some dog pet habits and are easier to tame than other beasts. Typical adult beasts contract at around 1%, typical pups at about 10 to 20%, while wolf dog pups run from 35 to 50%. Since then wolf dog farms have popped up like mushrooms, though quality varies. The shopkeeper's home kept one male and one female 2-star wolf dog and birthed too many pups to raise, hence selling. My house has no extra 2-star pups, but I know folks who do. If you want I can reach out. Please do, and let me pick good conformation. Alright, how many do you want? Van Sam counted her current points and the feed costs for pups, by 44 first. Adding the 6 before makes an even 50. The shopkeeper, a classic move, truly a business mind. Once it is settled I will send you 300 points as thanks. Deal, I will contact them right away. Hearing about 300 points, the shopkeeper grew very enthusiastic and could not sit still another instant. Van Sam surveyed the whole manor, the corners of her lips curving into a warm bow. At last it looks a bit like what I remember. At dusk, the sparring class ended, and Coach Ho, out of habit, let his feet carry him straight to the trading market, all because the effect of the focus incense was simply too marvelous. He longed to fall once more into that indescribably wondrous state, yet reality was harsh, not a single stick could be bought. He figured the Feng and Gu Association's benefits might be decent, and since he was their training partner, perhaps he could catch some scent by tagging along, but even landlords have no surplus grain. In the last few sessions, Feng and Gu had come empty-handed and left empty-handed, not a hint of fragrance, only the sour tang of sweat on him, so Coach Ho, in despair, could only make 3 to 4 to 5 runs a day to the trading market, hoping someday he'd refresh into a focus incense listing and buy in time. Today, as usual, he hurried into the grand hall, and before reaching the vending machine he sensed the air was off. Several residents were flying on the keys. Click clack, in a frenzy. The speed made folks worry the machine might freeze, while in a corner at least 6 people were working their black watches, half-lit screens flickering as they messaged friends and kin. Could it be? Coach Ho's heart jolted. He strode to the machine and searched Van Sam, and in the next second a slew of listings popped out. Incense name, focus incense, quantity, 1 stick, duration, 30 minutes, effect, calms the mind and steadies the breath, raising work focus, price, 10 points, seller, Van Sam, white name. Incense name, focus incense, quantity, 5 sticks, duration, 30 minutes, effect, calms the mind and steadies the breath, raising work focus, price, 50 points, seller, Van Sam, white name. The 10-point listings were still plentiful, the 50-point batch had 4 left. In that instant Coach Ho's latent power burst out, and on his quick reflexes he seized one 50-point order and 4 10-point orders. On the next refresh the listings were gone, focus incense sold out. From now on I'll carve out time to train pure speed, he vowed silently. There are focus incense listings at the trading market, get over here. Hongwen Thursday received his buddy's message and sprinted toward the market like a 100-meter dash. Luck favored him, for at this hour the place wasn't crowded and the machines were open. Heart pounding, thinking Lady Luck had smiled, he tamped down his excitement and typed focus incense, and the interface flipped, scan 0 results. Thinking he'd mistyped, he switched to Van Sam, and again, scan 0 results. Just then his friend's second ping arrived. All done, did you snag any? Hongwen Thursday nearly cursed. All day he'd run 8 loops to the trading market yet always missed the window when the incense appeared. As soon as he'd been notified, he'd rushed over, only to see nothing, no goods at all. At that moment he wanted to go discuss life with the staff, but before he could act, angry customers had already surrounded the attendants. How long from listing to sold out? Is there someone doing black box ops? I see association members taking shifts camping at the market, round the clock. The instant focus incense appears they sweep it clean. Can you not regulate this? Other goods are fine, but can focus incense go live at a fixed time? If I lose at the same starting line, I accept it, but failing to buy just because of bad luck is really unbearable. The staff were near tears. Heaven and earth can testify. To give customers a better buying experience, when focus incense goes on sale they don't even dare quietly tip off their own kin. If someone spends to sweep everything, how could they forbid it, since the market has never had such rules? As for setting a fixed listing hour, that's harder still. the director himself tried talking to the seller and it had no effect. People act freely and on a whim. Today they feel like coming, tomorrow they don't. The seller isn't market staff, so you can't impose rules and force compliance. The attendant lifted her face, eyes full of despair, small, helpless, super pitiful. JPG. In the mission hall, Han Jia-Khan excitedly posted 2 hiring notices: chef location, main kitchen diner, work, stir-fry and cooking, pay, 10 points per hour, settled weekly, perk, 1 stick of focus incense each week, requirement, outstanding craft, able to make signature dishes, headcount, 1, contact, player Han Jia-Khan. Escort guard location, the wilds, work, safeguard team members, pay, 100 points per day, settled daily, perk, 1 stick of focus incense each week, requirement, 3-star rank 3-star or above, combat types preferred, headcount, 3, contact, player Han Jia-Khan. The Creation Association he founded runs on a simple loop: buy land and farm, harvest each quarter, form a hunting party, deliver game to the diner daily for the next day's menu. The diner sells, turning crops and game into delectable dishes. When the association has cash, buy more fields to expand acreage, or arm members to try higher tier magical beasts. With a cycle that healthy, over time the association will grow on its own. Originally the growth was steady and it would have been fine to do nothing, but this time, landing a batch of focus incense and forging ties with an NPC, Han Jia-Khan felt inspired to invite a top chef to anchor the diner, and since hunting outside is dangerous, having 3-star experts along would boost safety. Should they meet a high-tier beast, they needn't panic and flee, they might even counter-hunt. Besides, he knew a spot frequented by a herd of black pattern boars and could lead a dedicated encirclement. Right then the black watch went tick-tick. Tick, and seeing several 3-star experts reach out first, Han Jia-Khan beamed, joy in his brows. Perhaps thanks to the 300-point bounty, the shop owner moved fast, and in just 2 days gathered 44 2-star wolfhound pups. Van Sam checked them one by one and found their quality indeed fine: good build, gentle temper, spirited and lively. She cheerfully paid out the points. The shop owner asked, "Where did the marrowbone and sauce you gave me earlier come from? Willing to sell? What's the matter?" Van Sam replied with a question. "Those bones are a smash hit. Many wolfhound pups that won't eat perk up and crowd over when they catch that aroma. I've never seen a treat they love so much. If used as training rewards, wouldn't war pets do whatever their owners say? I carry that bag of sauced bones and everyone asks where to get them, but I don't know, so I ran back to ask you." Van Sam smiled. "I make the sauced bones myself, not for sale." Before he could speak, she added, "This time you did me a huge favor. In a few days I'll make a few kilos and send them over as a gift, no charge." "How can I accept that?" He wanted to refuse, yet couldn't bear to. "It's fine, it's not worth much." After Van Sam chatted merrily with the shop owner, Luke stared at the yard packed with 52-star pups and fell into thought. The divine healer said she could tame many beasts, and Luke had assumed at most a dozen, not expecting 50 in one go. In the bamboo hut, Luke Min stood at the window watching the pups romp. His face was calm, yet Luke suddenly said, "They're too rowdy, I'll send them away now," and called Hugh Nia to carry the pups off. "What are you doing?" When Van Sam finished seeing the owner out and returned, she found the pups being hauled and was baffled. Hugh Nia explained, "The Lord dislikes noise. With them nearby, it's hard to rest." Van Sam, even without the pups he doesn't exactly sleep that well. After a beat she said, "Don't keep lugging them around, they're living things and will run. Call the craftsman, shift the bamboo hut a bit, then put a ring of bamboo fencing around it. That way the pups couldn't approach." Hugh Nia's eyes lit up. "Great idea. I'm on it." Luke looked at Van Sam, almost advising against it, then decided it was needless from their time together. The divine healer was careful by nature and would never joke with her own safety. If she did it, she had confidence. While thinking, she heard Van Sam ask, "Where is Luke Min?" "In his room." "I'll go find him," said Van Sam, knocking and entering. Just now Luke Min had been at the window watching the pups, yet now his eyes were closed as he lay on the bed. Luke had to explain, "The Lord is gravely ill, and through the day he cycles between clarity and haze. Pray forgive him." Van Sam said nothing. If gravely ill, why so soundly asleep, clearly feigning slumber to avoid her? It had been days already. What was there to be shy about? She didn't prick the bubble, only took out a sachet. "I prepared this especially for him. He must carry it at all times," and placed it. Luke's expression turned a touch odd, and after a soft cough she said, "Truly, the divine healer and the domain lord share a deep bond and profound affection." Van Sam thought to herself, I didn't lock the Lord in a dark room to seize the seat, my actions have proved everything already. Not really. She tucked the sachet into Luke Min's hand, then told Luke, if he's asleep, let's step outside. All right. The door clicked, any drowsiness in Luke Min vanished, yet he lay still to settle his breath. Gradually, a light, pleasant fragrance like medicinals lingered at his nose, his breathing evened, and unawares he drifted into a sweet dream. After a spell, Director Chu realized Van Sam was a woman of her word. She had said, whenever convenient I'll come, and that was exactly what she did, every 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, as whim took her, morning, afternoon, evening, whenever she remembered, whenever she had a free moment, she would swing by. There was no pattern, and perhaps no pattern was the greatest pattern. Customers' complaints thundered, and they nearly wanted to tear the market down. The staff were scolded daily to the point of wanting to die. Seeing the situation sliding out of control, Director Chu made a hard decision. Today, as usual, Van Sam brought 300 strings of incense to submit for listing. The attendant told her, recently the market changed the rules. We receive goods today and list them together at noon tomorrow. No problem, Van Sam nodded. The attendant continued, also, unified specs, each order can contain only one item. Van Sam paused a fraction, perhaps it was an illusion, but the new rules felt tailor-made to target her, and for each type of item, each person may win at most 3 orders per week. At this the attendant grew especially earnest. This is all for the good of everyone, we hope you won't mind. It's fine, I don't mind, said Van Sam. No matter how the rules change, the goods will sell out in a very short time, so it doesn't affect her. That's wonderful, the attendant said, looking at Van Sam with profound respect. This was the woman who, by her own strength, had changed the listing rules of the entire trading market. Who knows if, in this lifetime, they would ever meet a second such person. Although Director Chu made great efforts so customers could buy tranquil incense, there were still people who couldn't. Some, short on connections, could only sigh too brutal, then accept their bad luck. Some nimbly quit the game, opened the Cash Players Guild, and upon entering yelled, I can't do it, I couldn't grab any tranquil incense, I'm asking for outside help. At Van Sam carry me, great one, take me flying together. At Van Sam a profession player who absolutely doesn't cash in. As for pay to win, I've always refused. Playing a game, how can you not earn money but paste money in? So my first cash in, I give it to you. Hero, are you coming? At Van Sam eat drink play, Kang Trak Duong Han Jia Khan says he also wants to buy tranquil incense, 200 sticks. At Van Sam at Rich and Willful. Country bumpkin eyes, our village just got internet, just learned how godly tranquil incense is, so Guildmaster Papa when will you dote on me? At Van Sam was jolted out and, seeing the guild feed, almost thought 3,000 concubines were vying for favor. She was about to reply when the feed flooded. Luckiest in our guild, I snatched 8 sticks, ha ha ha, I'm laughing till the sky collapses and the earth splits. Luckiest in our guild, tranquil incense as a gift, good for self-use too, with that gift a 4-star expert took me as a disciple. Luckiest in our guild, no, I'm too excited, I need to scream for a bit. Country bumpkin eyes, gift equals bribing an NPC, what kind of new gameplay is this? Wide-eyed doggo, you can do that. Whoa, I snatched 3 sticks of tranquil incense and used them all on myself. Eat drink play, Kang Trak Duong shut up already. Do you know how many people are in this guild? At luckiest in our guild Rich and Willful, Han Jia Khan I invited a high-level life skills NPC to sit in, what am I supposed to say now? Rich and Willful, Han Jia Khan 200 isn't generous. I want 500, cash payment. At Van Sam a profession player who absolutely doesn't cash in, I got accepted as a closed-door disciple by the top doctor in the base, what am I supposed to say now? A profession player who absolutely doesn't cash in, master's fine in every way, except he comes to my room every day to rub tranquil incense, I'm worried the sticks will be used up and I'll be kicked out, Guildmaster save me. At Van Sam brilliant fun, earlier, I lit incense while sparring with my personal trainer, the other side had an epiphany, instantly ranked up to intermediate, the price list flipped times, now favorability is sky high, proactively offers training at base price, occasionally even lets me rub some incense, being able to rub an NPC's incense, mom I have a future.jpg brilliant fung is fungingu, when I'm lucky he's called miserable fung, when lucky he's brilliant fung, identity swap. And the name cuts, so it was you, I guess your personal trainer's surname is Ho, don't ask how I know. The Emperor arrives, where is my sack, where are my bricks, where are my fists? Brilliant fung, calm down, I'll go anon first. Countless messages flashed and countless were withdrawn, the whole guild lively as New Year. After pondering a moment, Van Sam posted, private deals, total of 20 slots, first come first served. At everyone outside the bamboo hut, Hugh Nia pulled Luke into a corner and whispered, the sachet in the Lord's hand, do you know where it came from? Luke's expression was cool, I know. From where? Hugh Nia pressed, Luke didn't answer and asked back, what are you asking for? That sachet, at a glance it's clearly from a young lady, Hugh Nia fretted, the Lord's mind isn't clear now, yet he clutches the sachet she gave, fond and unwilling to let go, how can I not ask clearly? What he said was still euphemistic, let alone unwilling to let go. He literally wore it at all times, and after just a few minutes he'd fish it out to take a sniff, take a deep breath and his complexion would seem better. Hugh Nia instantly thought of a betrothal token, but the man is still woozy, where did the young lady come from, who's betrothed to whom? He racked his brains and could not get it, even suspecting a female assassin had slipped in. Luke said, the divine doctor gave it. Ah! Hugh Nia froze. When the Lord was comatose, the divine doctor stuffed the sachet into his hand right in front of me. Hugh Nia was speechless, too much information, he didn't know what to say, as long as the Lord likes it, the rest doesn't matter, Luke said blandly. Hugh Nia was dumbfounded, this doesn't matter, but we shouldn't manage, if one day the Lord gets carried off by wolves, am I not allowed to ask either? 5 white hawks whooshed back, also bringing 4 white egrets and 1 tiger-pelted rabbit. At first Tan Van had a natural fear of magic beasts, worried about being killed and forcibly logged out. Over time she no longer feared, even had the mood to chat with the hawks, you really like eating duck, huh, lately 8/10 of your hunts are ducks, right? The white hawks chirped pipe, trying to pass with cuteness. Tan Van wasn't fooled, she knew these beasts were crafty, at first they hunted whatever, then schemed, and for what they liked, they headed straight to the manor. As for what the wolfhounds and white tiger liked, that wasn't even in their consideration, only if they happened to encounter it would they bring a bit back. Tan Van wasn't angry, only felt that the hawk's scheming looked adorably naughty. Wait, I'll make you something tasty. She led the ducks toward the kitchen, the hawks watched her go with great expectations. Chef Man was about to go to the hawks for ingredients, saw Tan Van and hurried to help carry the game. How did you quietly run off alone to see the hawks? Didn't I say the hawks are 3-star beasts? Better that the two of us go together. It's fine, Tan Van smiled, they're very well behaved, never bully people. She had first joined the game to build fitness and wrist strength, later, after long playtime, she discovered cooking in the game also increased proficiency, and back in reality her cooking experience was rich and her craft shot up. After joining the manor, even more so, tranquil incense helps thinking, master's pointers cut detours, her cooking progressed by leaps and bounds and she grew rapidly. Even when the patron brought back 50 wolfhound pups of 2-star level and the workload soared. She didn't feel tired, on the contrary, she was eager to practice and try making more dishes. Chef Man cautioned, still be careful, without a pact, beasts can be fierce. Tan Van strongly agreed, warmth in her heart, she looked at Chef Man not like an NPC but like a mentor who had taught her. The herbs were ground to powder, sifted fine, mixed by ratio and stirred even, add water, knead clay, form sticks, dry, cut to equal length, and tranquil incense was done. Van Sam set the fresh sticks to dry at home and ran off to play with the beasts. The 4-star white tiger cub had snow-white fur with black stripes, looking mighty and valiant, ferociously cute. At the moment it was tailing Big Black, wanting Big Black to play. Life is not easy, Big Black sighed, not yet having a partner. But already having a kid, it flopped numb onto the ground, refusing childcare. The white tiger cub romped joyfully, running to and fro. Little White, Van Sam called. The cub pricked its ears and looked over. Big Black resurrected on the spot and jogged to Van Sam, wagging enthusiastically. She rubbed the dog's head and asked, why not play with the wolfhound pups? Little White squatted with an innocent face. Big Black owed a complaint, this thing eats and bullies, after eating its own snacks it wants to snatch others. The other pups run when they see it, leaving it to bring one snack over and guard alone. Little White turned to sneak away. Van Sam scooped it up, leveled her gaze, and scolded seriously, if snacks aren't enough you can ask me, but you mustn't rob others, got it? Little White looked east and west but not at her. Van Sam knew some beast keepers deliberately preserved ferocity, teaching their battle pets to rely on high combat stats to fight in seas, that yields fiercer pets better at brawling, but she disliked it. If you snatch, you get smacked, understand? She wouldn't let it slide and wanted to correct the cub from now on. Little White drooped its head and yipped once as a reply of having understood. Only then did she put it down and turn to smooth Big Black's coat and feed him dried beef. Little White watched at the side, drool pouring, circling anxiously, clearly envious to tears. Van Sam accompanied Big Black for a while, then looked to the cub. Your turn, come here. Little White ran over excitedly, lay down and stretched its neck with practiced ease. Van Sam took a small wooden comb and stroked bit by bit. Having just eaten and played to exhaustion, the cub soon dozed, even forgetting snacks, half asleep. It thought that not snatching food later wouldn't be much fun anyway. Grooming was more enjoyable. At dawn, as soon as Van Sam logged into her info account, several private chat windows popped. One kindly alerted, go check the hot search, Apocalypse Space had an incident. One, watching the situation, wanted to cancel an order. The virtual reality game may be axed. I want to cancel my previous order. One took advantage of the fire to loot, still got game points on hand, 1 point equals $10, I'll buy them all, okay. Van Sam skimmed all messages, then went to the hot search. A 12-year-old boy wrestles with a mastiff, almost loses his life clicking in. She found a video. A 12-year-old boy was addicted to a virtual reality game and couldn't distinguish reality from illusion. Upon seeing a Tibetan mastiff, his first reaction wasn't to leave or seek help but to rush in to wrestle like fighting monsters in the game. The result? He not only failed to topple the opponent, he himself was bitten and injured. The report concluded by hoping the game company would have professional ethics and not lead minors astray. Though unnamed, it was practically a call-out, because on the market there was only one virtual reality game that realistic. After watching, Van Sam fell into thought. If she remembered right, in her previous life Apocalypse Space was also splashed with dirty water, yet later the issue was resolved smoothly. As she pondered, someone privately pinged to cancel a tranquil incense deal. Van Sam didn't make it hard and readily agreed. Right then someone in the Cash Players Guild spammed, big guts no death, 1 point equals $10, wanna buy, DM me, posting it 3 times lest it be missed. In fact, as the game progressed, the currency hadn't broadly devalued. On one side, players at the bottom found points hard to save. On the other, cash whales surged in and always used real-world money at a high price to buy game currency, so the exchange rate hovered around 1 point equaling $70. Buying at 1 equals 10 and selling at 1 equals 70 is absolutely massive profit. Thinking so, Van Sam calmly posted, 1 point equals $20, if you want to sell, DM. Since she had finished several penstroke orders earlier and had plenty of cash on hand, if there was a chance, she was happy to sip a little soup. Before long, someone came to ask Van Sam, Doomsday Base feels too real, to the point young people's perception becomes distorted. Later it might be rectified or even banned. What do you think? Van Sam replied, I think we should strengthen safety education for young people. At least when she was little, she had never mistaken a game for reality, let alone imitated it. The visitor fell silent, then said, if the government orders the company to stop operation, your money spent buying credits will be like throwing it into the river. Van Sam answered, if not, then blood sword. The person frowned, you're that confident? She said, gambling has always been high risk and high profit. Look at your screen name. Big guts die full. If your guts are too big you'll die from it. Calm down and feel the meaning inside. Big guts die full replied, thumbs up.jpg, then said, I thought spending $10 for credits was crazy. Didn't expect our group leader to be even bolder. Paying 20-inch, he added, you're ruthless, I respect that, and afterward stopped posting purchase ads in the group. Others came hinting for inside news. Van Sam said, don't ask, I simply believe in Doomsday Base, it won't shut down. Many left disappointed. A few members, fearing the game's closure and their months of work wasted, gladly sold credits cheap to her. Van Sam said, fair trade, voluntary only, no forced buying. They urged, it's voluntary, just hurry, afraid the server would suddenly crash. All were anxious. Van Sam cooperated and accepted all unused credits. The issue kept fermenting, growing into a major social focus. Professionals voiced opinions and argued endlessly. I warned years ago, expanding virtual reality games isn't only about tech, it's about social risk too. That must be examined first. Once accidents happen, it's too late. I'm 11, younger than the boy in the news. But I'd never go fight a dog. Where's that dog from? Where are his parents? No neighbors nearby. Who filmed that video? My head's full of question marks. Not long ago mastiffs were trending. Many families bought them, then got bored and dumped them. Hope safety departments act. This time it's someone else's kid. Next time it could be yours. The kid in the video was foolish, but Doomsday Base feels too real. Honestly, sometimes after long play I really feel I live in the apocalypse. Me too. After playing so much, I subconsciously swing my unicorn arm in real life. Ouch, the kid got bitten, poor thing, don't scold him. Truth be told, who wasn't reckless as a kid? Ban it, this trash game must be removed. Doomsday Base? Isn't that the VR game that hires fake accounts to hype itself, claiming it cures baldness
NK
and
Books.
insomnia, even beautifies the skin? You're shameless. Yeah, what's this nonsense about games improving fitness and mental strength? Can't they be modest? That kid probably believed propaganda and thought he was a superhero. Seriously misguided. The kid may be wrong to provoke the dog, but honestly, the game did help my hair loss, also helped my insomnia. I sleep better now, helped me lose weight too. Check my health report before and after 1 month of play. Improved my memory, easier to study, even improved my skin. A blogger tracked daily photos. She's on day 114 now. After browsing comments, Van Sam cited how hard modern life was. One said he had sleep disorder at 27 from overwork, another just turned 30 and already had hypertension and high blood sugar. The beauty blogger's skin recovered from years of heavy makeup. Arguments flared on, before playing, hypertension, beer belly, after 1 month, blood pressure normal, weight down 8 pounds, miracle, or maybe he just exercised and took meds. That blogger looked sickly before, now glows. That's quite a change. Maybe it's cosmetic treatment, not gaming. Anyway, if you haven't tried it yourself, you can't judge, then give proof, not fairy tales. The comments section roared like a brawl. Seeing no progress, Van Sam put on her VR headset and logged in. The game world felt deserted, few players online, most were probably watching the uproar. She bought herbs at home phone clinic, returned to her manor, quietly crafting mind-calming incense. Dusk deepened, online debates intensified, even big influencers spoke. Key now is finding the bitten child, not arguing blame. Beer belly, ulcers, osteoporosis, all improved by VR. Flaws can be fixed, no need to abolish it. VR tech is a milestone in human history. Sleep analysis before joining. After 1 month, after 2 months, not a researcher but I know my own body. Thanks to Doomsday Base I sleep soundly. Those speakers were either corporate chairmen, business owners, or heirs of wealthy families, beyond financial sway, even an award winning actress posted, aging comes, makeup can't hide wrinkles, yet casual gaming improved my skin, with 2 photos, one heavy makeup but weary, one lightly made up yet youthful. Netizens were stunned. How could these people still defend the game? As public figures they should know words sway public opinion. What did the company give them to risk this? Speculation erupted, until a comment revealed, they're not defending the company but themselves. Everyone gets sick, and now they fear losing treatment if it's banned. With sentiment shifting toward the company, the video uploader spoke. I'm Lack Quinn, a college student and live streamer. I usually stream at tourist spots on weekends. That day I was live when a huge mastiff appeared. I froze, then the boy provoked it and fought the dog. I panicked. Thankfully viewers called police fast. After being bitten he ran off. Hope he's okay. Viewers saw she was a petite girl barely 18 or 19. Even rescuing him would've been 2 casualties. Netizens sympathized and began searching for the injured boy. While checking news, Van Sam suddenly saw a pop-up. Big guts die full. I've got spare credits. 1 credit equals $20. You want? She was stunned. The victim's fate unknown and you're doing business. Big guts die full. Been in-game over a year. Seen it all but never child players. This smells fishy. They do their thing. We do ours. Simple. Buy or not? Buy, she answered instantly, after trading. She asked, where'd the credits come from? Not self-earned I hope. Big guts die full. Nah, panic spreading. Folks think the game'll close tomorrow, dumping items cheap. I buy when prices fit. Big guts die full. It's like a game about to shut down. After grinding so long, can't leave empty-handed. If something still sells, better sell. Won't need it later anyway, Van Sam realized. So you buy low, sell high, profit from the spread? Big guts die full. Heh, yeah, collecting credits carries risk. Being a middleman safer. Buy low, sell high, steady profit. Big guts die full. If VR gets banned, I'll pass what I bought to you, squeeze one last gain. If not, I'll just keep playing. Win-win. Van Sam sighed. You're a true talent, worth every coin you earn. 3 hours passed, 8 hours passed, a whole day and night passed, yet the injured child had vanished without a trace. No one could find him anywhere. Online users panicked, shouting, don't tell me something bad happened, and soon a storm of curses and accusations flooded against the game company. Garbage company, look how you've ruined people. Shut down before it's too late. While guts too big to die work like an ant, painstakingly collecting scattered points and handing them over to Yun Shan, who held a thick stack of cash, earning bit by bit while watching the drama and storing points. On the 3rd day, when Doomsday Base was slandered across the entire web until its name was blackened, the game company finally spoke out. First came an identity card and name, Choose Your Thursday, date of birth X year X month X day, ID number, redacted, with a photo of the same boy from the video. Next came the medical certificate stating Choose Your Thursday was diagnosed with Highlander syndrome, also called forever young, a disease that slows growth and aging so severely that while he looked 12 or 13, he was actually over 20, maybe even past 30. Finally, the company's statement read, "The virtual reality online game is open only to citizens aged 18 and above. Recently, malicious rumors have seriously damaged our reputation, and we will take appropriate legal measures." As soon as the diagnosis came out, the internet exploded. People who had pitted the child now realized he was older than them, laughing in disbelief, yet many still sought to verify whether the information was true or false. Photoshop experts chimed in, "We can only say, there are no signs of editing, whether it's the real person or his double, hard to say." Later, during Lacquina's livestream, the boy suddenly appeared on camera, exposing his face briefly. Most had only known the victim was a young-looking child, not his real face. "Something's off here, this feels weird," someone wrote. Investigate. Get to the truth. Don't wrong a good man, but don't let a bad one go. If he's got a minor's body but an adult's mind, and he hides on purpose knowing we're searching, sorry, that's suspicious. Not just suspicious, he's framing them. The company just released a new video, go watch it. The video was short but packed with revelations. During a livestream in an old alley, Choose Your Thursday hid in the dark beside a drugged dog unable to move. As the drug wore off, the dog staggered up, and Chu tried to rush into frame, but one punch landed. The dog whimpered on the ground, its fierceness gone. Chu bit his lip, unwilling, and pulled back. Next time, at the Ancient City livestream, he adjusted the dose, went lighter, and finally succeeded in performing. That was the broadcast everyone saw. When everything ended as planned, he fled home to hide. Debates raged online, but he stayed silent, hoping to fake his own death and pin the blame of endangering minors on the game company. Once the truth came out, the internet fumed. What grudge did he have? NK Books. What did the company ever do to him? An angel's face, a devil's heart. Taking advantage of people's kindness, may lightning strike him. I'm starting to feel sorry for the dog. That night, Chu slept soundly till noon. Reading the netizens still cursing the company made him grin with joy. Serves them right. Who told them to make such twisted rules? Die once and lose your play rights forever. He never admitted he'd rushed too fast into monster hunting, instead blamed the game's unfair difficulty and the company's cruelty, claiming it lacked compassion toward his condition. Since they wouldn't let him play, he decided to make sure no one could. If I can't play, I'll make them shut down the game entirely. Filled with malice, he then saw the company's clarification video. Impossible, he gasped, confirming no cameras nearby. How could he be filmed? While still stunned, a knock came. Open up. Water meter check. 3 days later, the farce finally ended. Investigations proved Chu had scripted and staged everything himself out of spite after losing access to the game he wanted to use for therapy. When the results dropped, most people were speechless. Was it worth it? Someone muttered, while others' curiosity grew. Such love and hate. What kind of godly game is this Doomsday Base? Has technology advanced that far? Are those players real and not paid bots? Then a famous woodcarver influencer spoke out. He never mentioned Chu, only described how he joined the game, apprenticed under an NPC master, and was now learning a long-lost carving craft. Though he didn't know why the NPC taught it, it was company confidentiality, and he only wanted to learn and pass it on. He ended with, "You don't stop using a knife because it can cut you, nor quit eating for fear of choking. Virtual reality is a good thing. The question is how to use it properly, not reject it entirely." His heartfelt words calmed many, toning down extreme voices, but beneath his post others still cried, "I've waited months and still couldn't get a beta key. Please stop talking, let me into the game first before I think about ethics. You who already play can't understand the pain of failing to register. Shut your blessed mouth." Unknowingly, Doomsday Base became famous again, sparking a new wave of hype for snatching registration codes and experiencing real VR gaming. That public opinion war ended too fast, said Guts too big to die. Unsatisfied, at first he used his savings to buy points, later only profit, pure net gain. Once he'd gathered enough, he immediately sold to Yin Shan, minimizing risk and maximizing profit. You must have earned quite a bit in 3 days? Yun Shan smiled. Just 3 or 4 10,000s, nothing compared to you 20 by 70 sell, triple right away, he said modestly. Yun Shan replied, you bore more risk, if the servers shut down, your points could vanish entirely. Courage with caution, you deserve to profit. After exchanging flattery, Guts Too Big to Die said, I'm off to play, contact me later if needed. Yun Shan sighed inwardly, the gold carving game forum truly hid dragons and crouching tigers, filled with sharp minds. Young men like him, who think only about making money no matter what happens, are rare nowadays. Opening the forum to find point trades, several new messages popped up. Big rage, I watched the drama 2 days, tracked a monster lair, and someone looted it first. Damn, there was a 4-star cub inside. Crazy guy, I worried the game would get shut down, cancelled all my trades, wanted to wait for the result, now the NPC sold to someone else, what do I do? Chryseed, someone DM'd me offering 1 to 30 for points, I couldn't resist, sold most of mine, I wanna die. Tragic show, you just sold points, I sold all my items too, damn. The chat was full of wailing, one user bragged, I watched the drama but still took a master. Finally beat rivals and apprenticed to a famous teacher. Another side, you people panicked before any result, scaring yourselves. Me, I kept playing normally, waited patiently, nothing happened. He'd heard some players had sold off assets cheap for cash, now broke and embarrassed since the game continued, awkward indeed. Gossip glut, I just stayed offline 3 days, and it feels like 3 months of change. How can anyone ignore gossip and still play calmly? Eat play drink, Kang Ji Yang heard the game might close, so I pulled an all-nighter farming, training mental power, ignoring everything else. Gossip glut, you're insane. Seeing many friends regretfully slapping their thighs, Yun Shan didn't post her own deals publicly to avoid provoking them. She planned to DM her rich clients instead, but before she could, one messaged first, carry me boss, saw you buying points earlier, how many total? Yun Shan smiled, 3,020 points, counting both her buys and Guts Too Big to Die's, quite a haul, a normal player would need months of grinding for that. Carry me boss replied with 3 exclamation marks, then, 1 point for 70 credits, I'll take all. Deal, Yun Shan said. Spending 60,000 to buy, selling for 210,000, in just 3 days, pure joy. She was about to log in to deliver when another message popped up, Han Jia Khan asking, any spare points for sale? Just sold out, you're late, she answered. Who bought them? He asked bitterly. Carry me boss, she said. Han Jia Khan almost spat blood, him again. How many times now, he always beats me to it. He often snatches money from you? Yun Shan asked curiously. Isn't it obvious? In other games he never showed as a pay-to-win, but since Doomsday base he fights me for every deal, buying points, crafting potions, anything. Yun Shan's eyes flashed thoughtfully. Before, he didn't compete because it wasn't worth it, now he does because it is. Han Jia Khan froze and realized she was right. Lu Simin savored the delicate sachet, brought it to his nose and sniffed, so faint it was barely there yet he still knit his brows, the medicinal scent had faded. Outside the window came the faint frolicking of wolfdog pups. Seeing the Lord frown, Hugh Guillet spoke at once, if the noise displeases you, my lord, I will send them away. No need, Lu Simin stayed him, the weather is fine today, I want to walk a bit. With that he stepped out and Hugh Guillet followed close. Lu Simin walked and looked around, casually asked, what has the divine physician been busy with lately? Seems I have not seen her for some days, Hugh Guillet answered honestly. These days she is making tranquilescence incense, I do not know why, I always feel she is in a hurry, as if something were chasing her. Is that so? Lu Simin circled the manor unhurriedly once. Back in the room he touched his pouch and paused. The medicine sachet is gone. Hugh Guillet was shocked. How could this sachet be missing? That was the betrothal token. If it were lost or damaged, the Lord might fall ill. Books. Again, perhaps it dropped while we were strolling. I will go look, Hugh Guillet decided. I will go too, said Lu Simin. My lord, your body still ails, please rest in the room. Before the words finished, the Lord had already turned and gone out, so he shut his mouth and hurried to catch up, silently praying nothing had happened to the token. But they were still late. When they arrived the sachet had been chewed to tatters and half the powder scattered. The culprit cocked its head at them. Dark pupils full of curiosity, and, truth be told, rather cute. Hugh Guillet braced himself to remind, this is a wolf dog the divine physician raised, not to be dealt with rashly, who knew Lucy Min would nod, her tamed beast caused trouble, she should take responsibility. Come, take the sachet and the wolf dog, we will go find her together. Hugh Guillet froze, a little dazed. Seeing the Lord already far ahead, he grabbed the pup and scooped up the sachet, rushed after in long strides. It chewed the sachet. Hearing the news, Van Sam was taken aback and, by instinct, looked at the two-star wolfdog pup. The pup nestled in Guillet's arms, little eyes full of big doubt, expression especially innocent, likely teething and itchy. After checking, Van Sam said, "What do we do now?" Hugh Guillet held the incomplete betrothal token, feeling it burn his hand. "Make another," Van Sam replied while taking a new sachet and, in order, poured in powders of different hues. Happens that the last batch's scent has faded. Seeing a row of sachets in the drawer, Hugh Guillet was so stunned he was speechless for a while, then found his voice. "Why, so many? A betrothal token could be mass-produced," Van Sam said. "The powder aids sleep and calms the spirit. I made a batch of sachets specially to hold it, so the Lord sniffing the sachet daily was receiving treatment. No wonder he had been clearer-headed longer these days." Hugh Guillet blushed with embarrassment. "So that's it." Van Sam packed the powder, tied the mouth tight, handed it to Lucy Min. "Whenever you feel the scent fade, come find me and I will renew it." "Thank you, divine physician." Lucy Min lowered his gaze. "I heard you have worries lately. If there is anywhere I can help, just say it." "It is nothing, only poverty." At this she felt a tightness in her chest. "I had a car accident, stayed in the hospital for over 1 year and 2 months, and incurred quite a bit of debt. Fortunately she was clever at making money. If she pushed herself a bit more she could pay it off." Lucy Min frowned. "You have 50 plots of land and monthly royalties from the premium violet bomb. Is that not enough to repay?" Van Sam fell silent. "Right. When she sold the violet bomb recipe she asked for a 10% share of net profit. How did she forget this? After more than 1 year how many points had accumulated? Exchanging the points alone could settle the old debt." She was just about to say "I forgot" when Lucy Min asked, "If I give you 5 registration codes, will that cover it?" Van Sam went dumb. Such things could be handed out as rewards. Last time she saw comments where someone was willing to pay 210,000 to buy 1 game registration code. Was she about to get rich overnight? Happiness descended too suddenly, she felt dizzy. "Unreal. If not enough then 10? Lucy Min added. "Enough, enough." Van, unable to resist the tide of money, Sam hurried to say, lest she faint from an overexcited heartbeat and lose face, "The illness may relapse. I will trouble the divine physician to spend more effort in days ahead," Lucy Min said casually. Van Sam instantly understood. "I will devote more time to watching over your condition." With an unchanged expression, Lucy Min left the bamboo hut and told Hugh Guillet to release the pup, not punishing it. Hugh Guillet probed. "No." Lucy Min looked at the pup a moment and suddenly said, "Raising a few little ones who do not yet understand is rather nice." Hugh Guillet was bewildered. Had not the Lord always disliked beast pups? What was this today? On the other side, Van Sam carefully recalled everything since recovery and kept feeling something was off. A crossworld romance is doomed to a tragic end. Had I not planned to keep my distance? Why did I rush over as soon as I heard he had trouble? And even take the initiative to stay in his house? The car accident completely derailed her plan. Waking up she remembered only that Lucy Min was gravely ill and needed immediate treatment to avoid a manic relapse, plus debts up to her neck, mind set on compounding medicine to repay, until she forgot that brief flash of resolve. After thinking it through she sighed, knowing it is a crossworld love yet still clinging on, must be mad. Beasts once raised are in the hundreds, love once spoken is a crossworld affair, debt once owed is in the hundreds of 10,000s. I would keep a low profile, but power will not allow it. She threw caution aside, called Lucy leashed the Hussy, and hurried to Hong Fong Clinic. Hong Fong Clinic was still managed by Director MayanH. After stating her purpose, a staffer went to call him. After a moment Director MayanH appeared. "Long time no see. I thought you had given up the violet bomb share. Some mishap occurred. I only just returned." Van Sam said. He asked, "Shall I transfer the more than 1 year accumulated points directly to you?" "Yes," she said, and he operated at once. Soon the black wristwatch showed an increase of 11,000 points. Van Sam was overjoyed and alarmed. A faint smile rose in Director Mayanh's eyes. "The premium violet bomb sells well. You deserve all of this." Van Sam pondered briefly, then raised her eyes. "I have other improved formulas I can sell you together." He was startled. "What formulas?" "A golden wound salve and a reversion pill." Leaving the game, before she could remove the VR helmet the system chimed. "You have obtained 5 registration codes. Note 1, each registration code can be used once. Note 2, please use within 7 days. After the deadline the eligibility will automatically lapse." I had been wondering how to distribute the codes, turns out you just claim them. In 2 lives this was her first time receiving registration codes as a reward. She tapped claim reward, the countdown began automatically. By habit Van Sam opened the engraver's game forum. I have 5 registration codes that must be used within 7 days, who wants one, DM me. The forum was silent for a blink, then exploded. Holy smokes, you even have registration codes? Forum master, you're a legend. Speechless. How many times must I say this? Guard your account security and beware thieves. I am tired of saying it. Calm down for 3 seconds before speaking. The last person who claimed to have codes went to jail for fraud, at least 3 years. Master, be careful. Van Sam, slots are limited, first come first served. At all, Van Sam, do you think I would joke about money? Naive. Carry me big shot, please take me flying. At Van Sam, as soon as the post landed, a private window popped. Carry me big shot, got codes, name a price, I want one, quick indeed. Van Sam admired it. First time I do this trade. I do not know the market price, you name it, if it fits I agree. His real name was Bossy H. Sanhoa, and he was dumbfounded. The master's first time selling, his first time buying, who knew what price was right. In truth, no one had ever heard of someone making extra registration codes, everyone just camped for the time drops and fought for them. Considering the master's extraordinary means, half real half mysterious, he messaged with the mindset at worst be scammed once. If it worked he would have bought all 5 at once. After thinking a bit, Bossy H offered, how about 3 million? The family had money but he could not freely spend much, and he had burned plenty in the game. Head tight, funds limited. Fortunately Van Sam asked for little. Deal, one for you. Money hit the bank card, and she sent the code right after, all within less than 3 minutes, with no ceremony at all. Bossy H. Sanhoa was dazed. Relatives had lurked for over half a year and still failed to grab a code. How did he get one so easily? Which made it feel even more like being scammed. Private chats kept popping, the forum kept pinging. Van Sam was swamped. Cannot believe it, got a code. And 5? Master, are you serious? At Van Sam, country eyes. My imagination is barren. How could a player obtain codes inside the game? Or did you assassinate the Lord and take over Hong Fong's base? Gone mad? Do not think so. At the beginning if you offered a blueprint you could meet the Lord. Now he is hidden. Even if a player makes huge contributions and begs an audience, he will not agree. Curiosity killed the cat. So are the master's codes real or not? If real, how did she get them? Too curious. My heart itches. I could grab her by the collar and shake. Seeing the discussion heat up, Van Sam added, they are the Lord's reward, with a time limit, move quickly. At all, Westlake water are my tears. What did I just see? Registration codes, Lord's reward. I logged in only to get blasted. Private chat, eat drink play, save me one. Name any price, 3 million, deal. Kang Trossi H. Duoing sent money with Flair and Van Sam, not dilly-dallying, sent the code at once. The third was Hanjia Khan, afraid of missing out. He transferred 3 million without a word. Perhaps he had spoken with Kang Trossi H. Duoing. Van Sam sent the code and then asked, 3 million sent in a breath. You trust me that much, you have the skill to earn money straight, you do not need to cheat. Hanjia Khan dropped a thanks and hurried offline, seemingly to find someone to test the code. Van Sam opened the engravers forum again and posted, 2 codes left, if you want to buy, hurry. At all, afterward many kept messaging, but they spoke in roundabout ways from many angles, only to learn the source of the codes and with no intent to buy. After a while of replies she was tired and simply logged off to rest. The next day, when she logged in, Van Sam not only saw a flood of unresolved issues but also unexpectedly received a message. Big Guts No Die wrote, so, those 2 registration codes, are they sold yet? If not, could you let me have them? 3 million each. Van Sam blinked, then replied, didn't expect you to be rich, huh? The other, coincidentally online, quickly answered, rich? No way. I'm just a poor guy most of the time. It's mainly because I have many friends, and one of them is interested in the registration code, hoping I can act as the bridge and buy the remaining quota from you. Besides, since it's you, I dare to ask, if it were someone else, I wouldn't. Van Sam asked, you've gotten addicted to being a broker? How much are you making this time? Big Guts No Die chuckled, just a little T-money, not much. Be honest. Alright, 1 code sells for 350, 2 for 700, how much I keep depends on my skill, but after paying you, the rest is my fee. Van Sam clicked her tongue, so both sides pull a little, and you pocket 100,000 clean, nice and easy. Big Guts No Die fell silent, then weakly said, "So, are you still selling?" "QAQ, the price can be discussed, we can talk again, I'll even take a cut." Van Sam paused, smiled, and replied, "I'm only selling at 300 each, after I hand them over. How much you squeeze out depends on your ability. If you find the next buyer, that's your network, not my concern. As long as the money hits my account, the code is yours." Big Guts No Die cheered, "That's why I like straightforward people like you." He immediately transferred 600,000. Van Sam gave him the last 2 codes, then posted in the guild chat, all 5 registration codes sold. Don't disturb. At everyone. She paid her medical bills and happily logged into the game. In just one short day, Van Sam sold all her codes, netting 1.5 million. With the profit from the purple herb potion, she earned 11,000 points. Selling healing ointment and recovery formulas, she got another 30% profit share. Calling it an overnight fortune wasn't an exaggeration. When she saw Luke Min again, she found his brows refined, eyes cold as stars, his whole demeanor shining as if gilded with gold. "Hungry? Anything you want to eat?" she asked. "Anything, I'm not picky." Hunia glanced sideways, hiding the shock in his eyes. "Then I'll make something simple," Van Sam smiled, heading to the kitchen. A short while later, she brought 3 dishes and a soup with a bowl of rice. Pickled radish salad, appetizing and helps digestion, grilled pork belly with special sauce, rich but not greasy, roast duck slices with skin, meat, cucumber, and scallion wrapped with sweet sauce, unforgettable taste, and lotus seed chicken soup, calming, good for sleep, and eases palpitations. Each dish is small, just taste them. True to his word, Luke Min wasn't picky, ate everything, even finished 2 bowls of rice. After the meal, he yawned slightly, "I'll rest." Hunia cleaned the table and led Van Sam out. At the door, he said softly, "The master's body isn't well, please forgive." "It's fine, he's quite cute," Van Sam replied. Hunia froze. This tone, this reason, hard not to misread. In the wilds, a male player named Bak Kanjong punched a lion goose and kicked a moss wolf. When all beasts in sight were down, he grinned, "Doomsday Base really lives up to its name, combat's a blast." Bak San Hoa said coolly, "Told you so, thought I was lying?" "I just hadn't tried it myself before," the young man laughed. "If I knew it was this fun, I'd have camped every week to grab a code." He had tried twice before but competition was fierce, odds too low, so he gave up. Never expected his cousin's connections were so deep he could even get codes. "Where did you get them? Can we get more?" Bak Kanjong mused, thinking of rallying skilled friends to play together. Bak San Hoa shot back, "Forget it, codes are hard to get." But as he spoke, the name Van Sam flashed in his mind. Kang Bang stood before the mirror, examining his scalp with a grin. "Trak Duong, look. My hair's growing back." "I see," Kang Trak Duong muttered flatly. For 3 straight days, his uncle dragged him to share this joy of rebirth. From happiness to calm to numbness, now he was as placid as still water. Yet Kang Bang's joy overflowed. "Balding's not fatal, but damn, it wrecks you. I've suffered for years." He sighed, "I've tried growth serums, old remedies, nothing worked." "Your aunt told me to wear a wig, said no one would notice. I hated the hassle, so I shaved clean. But bald heads look awful, like a bandit boss. Ha, but now, look, hair's back." He stroked his hair lovingly, as if he could admire himself 800 times a day. Kang Trak Duong, seeing his task done, prepared to leave, but his uncle stopped him again. Realizing his nephew's restlessness, he laughed, "All right, go do your thing, but remember your uncle when fortune smiles, don't forget I treated you well." He tossed a card, 600,000 inside, same password, go spend. Kang Trak Duong's eyes lit up, "Thanks, uncle." Han Jai Jai stared at the mirror, dazed. 3 days, down 4 pounds, flat belly, no more eye bags, and the large scar on her cheek had faded greatly. In time, it had vanished completely. She gazed for 20 minutes, still unable to believe that the lovely face staring back was hers. Her brother Han Jia Khan comforted her gently, "Didn't I tell you, that virtual reality game heals the sick, strengthens the healthy? A little scar will fade soon. She threw her arms around him, teary-eyed. "Brother, you're really my brother." The doctor said the wound was too deep, the scar might never fade, even surgery might fail. I was scared to death. She had once thought her face was ruined. Science advances, people progress. What couldn't be cured before might be now, Hanjia Khan said softly. He'd said similar things many times, but this time, she believed him. She nodded firmly. "You're right, as long as we live, there's hope." As her scar faded, her inferiority disappeared, and confidence returned. At dusk, after maxing out her online hours, Van Sam logged off, removed her VR helmet, and prepared to rest, but her inbox exploded with messages. "Bok San Hoa, got any more codes? Price negotiable. Hanjia Khan, tried the code, works perfectly, you're amazing. Dying but sitting up, heard the code's real? Can I get one? I'll pay 5 million. Crying miserably, my friend's in trouble, needs to enter the game urgently, please help. Rich first, 3 million upfront, 1 code please." Meanwhile, in the guild chat, Rich and Reckless, "Need a code, name your price." At Van Sam, money solves everything, auction them. Highest bidder wins. At Van Sam, blame my naivety, guild master, I was wrong not to believe you, you're truly miraculous. Is it too late to regret? Can you save me one? At Van Sam, guild master come back, I want 2 codes, any condition you name. At Van Sam. Van Sam watched the endless flood, stunned, it took her ages to sort through. Exasperated, she replied, "You think I'm a wholesaler? Told you already 5 codes sold out, don't bother me." At everyone. The guild members sighed, rubbed their wrists, full of regret. "Guild master's just being modest," someone said, "if she got the first batch, there'll be a second." Another added, "Can we prepay? If we get codes later, great, if not, refund." "Don't start," Van Sam muttered, closing the guild chat to let them calm down. She set up quick replies and started answering private messages one by one, about to shut them all when a message popped up, "Big guts no. Die, I've got insider info, care to chat?" "What do you want to talk about?" she asked. "So, can no one really get new codes anymore?" "Hard to say," Van Sam said coolly, "even I can't see through myself." The other fell silent, seemingly lost for words. "If you want a fish, at least throw some bait first," Van Sam teased, pushing him to reveal something useful. After a pause, Big Guts No Die finally wrote, "July Thursday's mess is huge." Besides facing legal charges, the game company is also under investigation. On paper, everything checks out, but oddly, no one can find where the company actually is. Simply put, the company looks legit but doesn't really exist. Now that was something. Van Sam feigned doubt, "Doesn't sound right." Big Guts No Die, "I have my ways, can't tell how I know, but it's all true, no lie." "Not my concern," Van Sam said lightly, "the healing works, people rush in, business is good, I make money, that's all I need." So carefree? That's called not forgetting one's original intent. Her original intent was to make money. If she could earn it, who needed anything else? Big Guts No Die sighed, "As expected of you." The two chatted about this and that for a long while. Van Sam was determined not to court gossip, only said she was not yet sure how to handle it and would reach out later, and to be reachable some bold souls risked their necks to leak tidbits. In short, everyone knew the game company had problems yet could do nothing, not only failing to deal with it but even needing to borrow its power. Van Sam was unsurprised, for in her past life it had been the same: understand in silence, keep enjoying the game, act as if nothing had happened. After shutting every channel of information, she slept soundly, then at dawn logged in refreshed and strolled into the game. She had barely appeared in the manor when Hugh Nia grabbed her. "Bad news. The Lord lost control again." Van Sam? For many reasons, Luke Min's condition was not as severe as in the previous life. Besides, Van Sam fed him medicinal meals daily and made him carry a packet of pills, so in theory he should not have lost control. "What happened?" she frowned. "Before daybreak someone broke into the manor," Hugh Nia summarized. "They were seasoned hands who slipped past the beast packs. 3 tangled with me while others slipped into the Lord's room." The Lord's ferocity was triggered, his eyes went red with killing, and he still has not stopped. Where is Luke Min? Take me. This way. They hurried full tilt and arrived just in time to see Luke Min cutting down foes left and right. 2-star and 3-star players kept bursting into white light, roughly 7 or 8 by a quick count. Van Sam strode close, lifted Luke Min's face to calm him, and from the corner of her eye caught a familiar face not far away. Her expression darkened. Why is it you? The man was clearly from the game's Carved Gold Guild. They had crossed paths in another virtual reality game, so she recognized him. Questioned, the 3-star player panicked. I only wanted to check your turf to see what lucky break you've had lately. Who knew this NPC attacks on sight? At the moment the black text above Luke Min read Luke Min rather than Lord, so the intruders had not realized his identity. Sneaking in past midnight, of course people take you for a thief, if not for awakening a support gift. Van Sam might have planted a kick herself. I just wanted intel, not to hurt anyone, he cried. Before the words were done, a player ghosted up beside Van Sam and drove a blade at her. Luke Min tugged lightly, wrapping Van Sam into his chest, and with a single strike felled the assassin. The 3-star, had he known the manor held such lethal intent, he would not have come even if begged. He thought to say a few words, make nice, beg mercy, but before he could speak, a vine lashed out, cinched his neck, and in a blink hung him aloft. Luke approached. I see, all infiltrators have been killed, the danger is cleared. Luke Min and Van Sam stood extremely close. His eyes smiled as he leaned in to breathe deep, as if inhaling a draft of cool clarity that sharpened his spirit 100-fold. Not really, Van Sam said, back to the room. She gripped Luke Min's wrist, added the slightest force, then led the way. He cooperated completely, following wherever she went. Back in the room, after settling him, she calmed herself and quickly strung it together. They were coming for me. In other eyes she had abandoned cultivation for over a year, only lately flashing support talent, battle powers seeming ordinary and fit to be bullied. Just when she started turning up some registration codes others had never touched, she drew even more jealousy. Do not mind it, divine physician, Luke said coolly. With the Lord's special status, assassinations are routine. Beat them and fear will teach them. Hugh Nia added, you pour your heart into curing the Lord. If trouble comes, of course we help. Vexation welled in Van Sam. She had always pressed others in a fight. Being bullied at her own door was a first. Intolerable. Looking at the pack of wolfhound pups outside, she resolved to train them swiftly and well. The manor had a total of 50 wolfhound pups. Van Sam split them into teams of 5 and, for each team, tossed a 1-star jackalope to drill encirclement in hunting. The pups were still short-legged and baby fierce. Some even showed no interest at the jackalope, still chasing their pals around. Seeing this, she did not interfere. Only at day's end she rewarded the most diligent team with snacks and a brush-out, the second with a brush-out, the third with snacks. Coats once messy became fluffy and sleek after grooming, looking dashingly handsome. The other pups gaped, staring blankly at her before coming back to their senses. She simply said, train well, perform well, and you'll be rewarded. Thus next day the little wolves saw a jackalope and their eyes gleamed green. The jackalope, trembling.jpg, newborn pups could be 1-star or 2-star, the higher the birth rank, the better the aptitude and the easier the later breakthrough. The manor's pups were all 2-star, with built-in potential, and with snacks and brushing as lure they exploded with talent and grew fast. As the regimen intensified, Van Sam told Tan Van and Chef Man to prepare more food so the pups ate there. Phil, when Bai Chuan's hunting fell short, they would spend points to buy prey outside. Both agreed. Right, probation's over, time to go permanent. Van Sam praised, you two did well. From now on each week you draw 3 sticks of tranquil spirit incense. Keep it up. Tan Van and Chef Man rejoiced and thanked her profusely. Stepping out of the kitchen, Tiger Cub Bai waited. First it pinned a 1-star jackalope, pretending to bite fierce.jpg, then released it, took a little wooden comb, and toddled to Van Sam with eyes shining. It was very mighty, performed superbly, and absolutely deserved a brush reward. Van Sam could not help laughing, took the comb and brushed while saying, you are 4-star. I cannot let you breeze through. The cub squinted in bliss, clueless about what awaited. Half an hour later, the fur atop its head stood like a dandelion, its gaze a tad vacant. Before it, Big Black stood proud, massive enough to require looking up. From now on Big Black will spar train you. Do well and there are snacks and brushing, Van Sam announced with a grin. The tiger cub, unfair. It wanted the same treatment as the other brats. Van Sam firmly pressed it down and also considered buying more beast cubs. A few days later, the count of 2-star wolfhound pups surged straight to 100. They mustered in a line, proper and prim for training. Van Sam did not leave the quarters, sewing cloth nests for their rest, Seeing the herd swell, Hunia fretted and told Luke to shadow the divine physician closely lest anything go wrong. Luke shot him a look. Bai Chuan has been of age nearly a year, have you seen them go berserk? Hunia was taken aback. Beasts only lack wariness during the cub stage and become friendly with people after time, yet if no pact is formed before maturity, tempers grow hot and aggression rises. Ranches usually slaughter them before adulthood. Bai Chuan had long come of age but had never lost control. Could it be because their dam formed a deep pact with people? He mused. It is because their master is Van Sam. Luke said solemnly, the divine physician can soothe even the Lord in a frenzy, let alone a few low-tier beasts. With that she swept him a glance, shook her head, and left. Hunia, my low intellect gets me shunned daily. What can I do? I am truly in despair. After a year's interval, Van Sam strikes again, selling the formulas for Golden Wound Salve and Rejuvenation Pill to Red Wind Clinic. Soon the news swept the encampment. Countless residents surged into the clinic to snap them up. Many newbies were dazzled. Why does everything tied to the name Van Sam sell like? It is gilded? What mystic art is this? Not mysticism, strength, a veteran beamed, brandishing the salve and the pill. What Van Sam makes works, buying it is profit. The newbies glanced at each other and joined the line in unison. Someone also smacked his forehead with a brilliant idea. Heartguard pills personally made by Van Sam, effects superb, come by now. At first, some NPCs who did not know the truth came to ask and purchase. The player raked in points till his hands ached and grinned ear to ear. But soon a squad of 3-star guard NPCs boxed him in. You impersonated another's name for false promotion. Compensate tenfold the sale price. If you cannot pay, you will enter the mines for forced labor until the debt is cleared. The player, Fake 1, pay 10 ruined. Early in the 9th month, the moment she logged in, Van Sam received a hefty transfer of 9,420 points. This was her revenue share, 10% of the net profit from premium violet grass paste, plus 30% from the salve and 30% from the pill. To prevent a repeat of forgetting to claim dividends, during the deal she asked Manager Man to remit at the start of each month. He agreed, so the points now arrive automatically, with a bank account. Piled high in the black watch holding tens of thousands of points, Van Sam had clearly become well-heeled. Let us see what to eat today, she murmured while wandering. Squid balls, beef balls, shrimp balls, egg dumplings, fish tofu, a jumble of ingredients to choose from. Once picked, they went into a paper cup with 2 ladles of broth, the taste fresh and delectable, grilled rice cakes, seitan skewers, wings, mutton skewers, beef skewers, and pork belly slices lined up to entice, sprinkled with dill and spices on the barbecue. The aroma drifted for miles. There was even a shop for roast chicken and roast duck. One glance showed glistening skin with fat trickling down, fragrance thick as song. Along the road were milk tea stalls, bakeries, snack bars, and fast food counters, a wealth of choices nearly catching up to the late-stage offerings of the previous game. Milk tea? She asked Luke. No, Luke refused curtly. Van Sam did not insist. Left hand milk tea, right arm A. Giant cup of cashews, she added mashed potatoes, red bean pie, and crispy skin drumsticks, munching happily. Big Black held a rib burger and feasted. Luke stood guard, ever alert. Just then a hunting squad hauled past 3 gray old rats half a yard tall, knocking on doors to ask if any shop would buy. Van Sam happened to glance over and at once her eyes lit up. Problem? Asked Luke. A big one, Van Sam said as she walked up to the hunting squad. The squad had 5 in total, 4 with gray tags at 1 star and 1 with a white tag at 2 stars. The 3 gray old rats were gray tag, 1 star, which meant they were not too hard to handle. Van Sam stood still and bargained with the squad. 3 gray rats, 50 points, and you help deliver them all the way to my place, how about it? The 5 murmured a bit, then the lone white tag man in the team nodded, deal. Van Sam no longer felt like strolling the market and simply asked to return to the manor. On the way she chatted, where did you get these gray rats? The 2-star player answered, we went out to the wilds planning to hunt red-bellied jungle fowl, white egret ducks, and tiger-pelt hares, but ran into gray rats instead. Since we had already fought them, we finished them off so as not to waste the effort and brought them back to sell. That was exactly what the shopkeepers had just said when she made the rounds, no one would take gray old rats. If Van Sam had not offered 50 points for them, they might have rushed around for nothing. Van Sam gave the 5 a careful once-over and asked again, did you meet them near the base, or only after going far? The 2-star man smiled, don't judge us for being new to the game and low level, we have all trained before. The brothers did the math and decided to roam far and wide. From the base, roughly a 20-minute walk. And you met only 3 gray rats? Just 3. Van Sam kept asking the whole way and the 2-star man kept answering the whole way. By the end he had a strange illusion that the 50 points were a fee for questions and answers rather than money for the rats. Before they knew it, the manor was already right ahead. Van Sam handed over 50 points. Here is the promised reward. The 2-star player probed, if we hunt gray rats again later, will you still take them? Gray rats were vicious and brutal by nature, he did not want to run into them again. But that was not up to him. If they crossed paths and a rat pounced, they could not just flee, even if they could not win, they had to strike back. If Van Sam would take them, then killing and bringing them in would at least mean extra income. Van Sam shook her head, gray rat meat is poisonous and inedible, only the hide is of any use. I am buying these for a different purpose, and I will not be taking them in the future. So be it. The 2-star man led his companions away, full of regret. After parting from the hunting squad, Van Sam took the gray rats to look for Luke Min, but it was a bad time. Luke Min was in a chaotic state. Hunia said, Divine Healer, tell me whatever it is, when the Lord wakes I will convey it. Van Sam's face was solemn, every word pressed hard. Gray rats have been found near Hong Fong base, which means a rat calamity may follow. Rat calamity? Hunia was puzzled. In fact, it was his first time hearing that there were rodent-type demonic beasts around Hong Fong. Luke pondered and asked, you mean rats breeding into a disaster, old rats moving in packs? She paused, a hint of doubt in her eyes. They are only 1-star beasts, that should not make a climate. Van Sam lowered her gaze. After the apocalypse, animals mutated, and their maturation speed far outstrips the past. Take wolf dogs for example. From birth to adulthood is only about 2.5 months. Tiger pelt hares take even less, often a single month to reach adulthood. As for gray rats, they birth a litter every 7 to 10 days, each litter around 10 to 30 pups. From birth to maturity takes only 3 to 4 days, and by the 2nd generation they can already begin the next round of reproduction. Luke's eyes darkened and her face grew grave. That growth rate was terrifying. If it could not be contained, the consequences were unimaginable. Van Sam went on, gray rat meat carries toxins and must never be eaten. If consumed, the mild result is vomiting and diarrhea, the severe result is death. If gray rat corpses pile up over time, they will trigger a plague of rats. Also, with such numbers, they will gnaw bare the prairie, the bark, and the seedlings. If they find nothing to eat in the wild, they will turn their eyes to human settlements and take the initiative to attack. Hunia felt a chill down his spine. After a thought, he asked, how does the Divine Healer know gray rats are this dangerous? Van Sam, I simply know. Hunia, one line with no explanation. How headstrong could she be? Right, Van Sam suddenly recalled, individual gray rats may be of similar strength, but their temper is savage. Whatever they see humans or other beasts, they will provoke. In other words, low-tier beasts usually avoid high-tier ones, but gray rats will not. They rely on numbers to challenge even high-star beasts. If they win, a pregnant dam will swallow the high-star beast to nourish even stronger offspring. Hunia could not take it anymore and sprang up. I will fetch Tatin. Whether the Divine Healer spoke true needed no guessing. Capture gray rats alive and experiment to find out. Bring the gray rats with you, Van Sam called after him. The toxin in their flesh is too strong, a 1-star beast cannot digest it. Hunia hurried off, taking the rats as told. Luke tilted her head to study Van Sam, her eyes held a thread of doubt and a hint of probing. If the rat calamity is mishandled, the mess will land on Luke Min again, Van Sam said coolly. Do not assume that because he is 5 stars he can do everything. The heavier the blood karma, the worse the mental state. When illness flares he cannot control himself. It is best to resolve this rat matter smoothly without letting him act. Luke withdrew her gaze, eyes cold, understood. Leaving the game, the system prompts rang. Today your cumulative online time is 420 minutes, that is, 7 hours, which has reached the daily cap. Diagnostics show your physical condition is good. Starting tomorrow, daily online time increases by 1 hour, for a total of 8 hours. Van Sam finished reading, closed the link, and took off the virtual reality visor. Ever since she had stated seriously that she had no extra registration codes, far fewer people had bothered her in private, and life had settled again. As that thought arose, a private chat window popped up. Big Guts Court Death, a renowned engineering academician is gravely ill, with only about 1 or 2 months to live. Big Guts Court Death, if there were a registration code, it might save his life. Van Sam, never thought it would come to this, you really are a little demon who makes trouble. Van Sam, up to this very moment you are the only one still pestering me, you know that? Big Guts Court Death, it is not like I want to. Big Guts Court Death, the title of engineering academician is the highest academic honor in domestic science and technology. Anyone who holds it is top-tier talent. For the country, losing even one is a huge loss, please try to understand. Van Sam. A person who appears on the national news, what does that have to do with you? If there were spare registration codes, would you deliver to his door as well? Big Guts Court Death, right now I am only hoping to get a code to save a life, am I not? Crying face emoji. The short line carried too much information. Van Sam was stunned for a moment. Big Guts Court Death, honest people do not play shady. The previous 2 codes I gave to senior technical experts who had received the nation's highest science and technology achievement award. Big Guts Court Death, their hair was already whitening and their vigor far below their youth. After playing this game for a few days, their sleep improved, spirits lifted, and black hair began to grow again. At first they could work 1 more year, later perhaps 3, then 5, then 10. Big Guts Court Death, the buyers entrusted me with a weighty hope, waiting for me to contribute my small share to social development. Big Guts Court Death, so I have persisted in bothering you. Van Sam could not comprehend it. What kind of connections do you have? A pro gamer claiming to know recipients of the nation's highest achievement award, does that even sound real? People these days would spend any lie to beg for a registration code. Big Guts Court Death, I also find it odd. I thought I was just a middleman distributing goods for a small running fee. How did I get dragged so deep I cannot get free? Big Guts Court Death's real name was Fo Dun Lang. When he learned that Van Sam had spare code quota, he shouted in the family group asking if anyone wanted one. A cousin sought him out, promised a rich cut, and asked him to buy. Fo Dun Lang thought the cousin wanted to play and agreed to run the errand, who knew the cousin would pass the code to someone else. What followed grew ever more bizarre and far beyond expectation. In short, his pro-gaming career had been loaded with outsized expectations, as if the rise and fall of society and the fate of humankind were all tied to him. It was absurd. No wonder they say money is hard to refuse, Fo Dun Lang said, revealing endless melancholy. Then the story swerved. Think about it, I am just an ordinary person, without special channels, how could I know these things? I swear everything I said is true. Next time you get a registration code, could you consider me first? Those researchers might truly sway the course of human history, live 1 more year and they might deliver a top-tier project or a key result. But they are old, their hands slow, and they are destined to miss out on the code. With no other choice, they pin their hopes on you, because so far you are the only player who has ever received a registration code as a reward. Van Sam finished reading and stayed silent for a long while, shaken no less than when she first learned the truth about so-called virtual reality. In fact, End Times Encampment was not a game world at all but a parallel world. The Lord used talent, gifts, or other means, the system, to summon residents of other worlds by projecting their consciousness into Hong Fong base. What they called hyperreal scenery and unique landscapes were literally the landscapes of another world. What they called NPCs with uncanny intelligence and lifelike roleplay were in truth living people, simply natives of that other world. What they called virtual reality tech opening the mental realm was simply the awakening of one's gifts and the triggering of latent potential, with the body improving as well. Therefore, no matter how deep you dig, you will not find a game company. The one in charge is in another world, and to trace him you would have to cross worlds, which current technology cannot do. As for why Luke Min could issue registration codes, the reason was simpler still. The so-called virtual reality game was his creation. He was already the lord of Hong Kong base and also the person in charge of the game company, so of course he could allocate quotas. Some things only clicked for Van Sam after she realized Luke Min equals the Lord. As for the others, summoned to the parallel world to do the building, they still believed they were playing a newly launched virtual reality game. After a moment's thought, Van Sam chose to explain from the game angle. I received a super hard quest chain whose content concerned the Lord. Because I completed it well, my favorability shot up and the Lord added registration codes as a bonus. If you need one, the next time I get it, I can sell it to you hand to hand. Price unchanged, one registration code for 3 million. A quest chain is a series of continuous small quests. Each small quest finished brings a reward, and finishing each stage brings an even richer reward. Describing her situation as a quest chain was both precise and hard to fault. She feigned being an emotionless game machine, a money-making machine asking no reasons, speaking only of buying and selling. After a long pause, Fo Dong Lang replied, "All right. Whenever you have a code, I will wire the money then." Van Sam dared to agree because she already had it in hand. Last time Luke Min asked whether 10 registration codes were enough to pay the debt, she said 5 would do and, at worst, she would come back for the other 5. The engineering academician dying of illness had also happened in the previous life, right at the end of the year 2206. Van Sam remembered clearly. The research titan's resume was dazzling. After he died, the hot search held him for 3 days, and only then did she learn what a colossal contribution he had made. To put it bluntly, he used the strength of one person to change the course of all human history. Though she had never known him, merely by being alive one could enjoy the conveniences brought by his innovations. She wanted to save that man, so this time she loosened her grip. Otherwise, no matter how the one nicknamed Big Guts, well fed to death, insinuated, tried all tricks, or pestered her toward death, she would not have replied. At dawn the next day, Van Sam logged into the game. Luke Min, rarely clear-headed, was chatting with Hugh Nia. Seeing her enter, he spoke first. "The trouble of vermin turning into calamity I already know. I have sent people to find out how many grey rats are near the camp." Then, Ta Tin has done preliminary tests, just as the divine healer said. Rat meat carries toxin, eat it by mistake and you will be poisoned. I also arranged people to publicize it in the camp, but sadly we are still a step late. 8 people ate rat meat and fell into coma. They have been sent to the clinic for treatment. That is good. She had planned to share anti-plague experience, but in this life with her early warning, Luke Min had already arranged everything. She could not help thinking, if before the grey rat horde expanded to a certain scale they were killed off entirely, perhaps this time the camp would not suffer a rat plague. While she considered, a line of laughter flickered in Luke Min's eyes. "Without your reminder, if we had found out 10 days or half a month later, it would have been far worse. How should I thank you?" Hearing the word thank, her spirit perked. "We are all close, no need to be polite." After a tiny pause she added, "Just give me 5 more registration codes." Hugh Nia fell silent. He could never guess what the divine healer would say next, but Luke Min agreed outright. With the codes in hand and the rat affair left to the NPCs, she retreated with grace. "You two chat, I am going to train beasts." After a stretch of rearing, the 2-star wolf dogs had leapt ahead, no longer pups but between youths and adults. Seeing her, dozens of wolf dogs swarmed like a hive, taking turns rubbing her legs. Everywhere her eyes landed was soft fur. She ran her hand down one, then another, then a third, and laughed. "Have you trained well lately?" The howls rolled one after another, a grand scene of vying for favor. She now smoothed this one's coat, now rubbed that one's head, like an ancient monarch. Touring a harem of 3,000 beauties, Little White was already 4-star but a tiger type, thus slower to grow. Its frame was a size larger now, yet still a cub's look. It shoved for all it was worth to push aside the many rivals and reach her side, but the 2-star wolf dogs were no pushovers. They jointly blocked the approach, refusing to let it near. Little White fumed. It refused to believe and kept butting forward, even feigning ferocity to scare them back. Big Black lay nearby, watching quietly, features gentle. Big Black, she caught it from the corner of her eye, hurried to lift it into her arms, and quick as a blink Little White stretched its long neck and pressed against her finger with the air of a bossy president. She humored it with a scratch. Little White shut its eyes and hummed in bliss. Train beasts? No, her main work was actually to keep them company, most of all to soothe their irritable moods. Leaving the game, a system chime sounded. "You have received 5 registration codes." After claiming the reward, she pinged Big Guts, well fed to death, in private. "Transfer the money, 15 million. Almost instantly Fo Dong Lang replied, "How long has it been and you already pulled it off?" she lied with a straight face, finished a linked quest chain. This was the final reward, he sighed over and over. Your luck is superb. She felt that compared to luck she had much more strength, but fine. Let him misunderstand. One hand passed money, the other handed codes. Deal done. She was about to close the window when he said, if you ever get more reward codes, feel free to contact. She answered seriously, no, not a drop left. He said she was modest, but she was not being modest. She simply did not plan to sell again. Compared to the massive player base, the original residents of Red Wing Camp were not many. She did not want, for money, to draw in new forces and break the balance that existed. The codes are given, the person is saved, now let us cut ties. It sounded ruthlessly cold, and Fo Dong Lang said, fine, I will seal my meridians. Anyway, 5 codes were enough for his report. Hunting gray rats was in truth a thankless grind. Lately only the fur of rats was of any use, the return was low, and they moved in packs, so killing them all was not easy. Thus the only meaning of hunting them was to prevent numbers from exploding and spreading. Such troublesome and profitless work drew little interest. Hunting squads, when they met them, often got chased to impatience and would finish them off in passing. The Red Wing Camp had tried forming NPC sweep teams and even posting bounties for players, but the effect was tiny. As the scale grew, gray rats proliferated and Luke men had no choice but to act. That day outside the camp blood ran like a river. More than 10,000 gray rats piled like mountains. The scene was terrifying, like a purgatory. Later the plague was quelled, but the corpses lay uncleared and the pestilence spread anew. Even now, recalling it, she could see the carnage of that moment. Many were infected, lacking medicine. The frail did not last 3 days, the stronger barely 7, and died in turn. By the time the outbreak was controlled, the camp's population had dropped by about 1/3. Who knows how it will go this time? She worried a little. On the 6th of September she put on the virtual helmet and, before logging in, saw the system notice pop up. From the 6th of September to the 20th of September, the whole server runs the Autumn Hunt event. Hunt gray rats and hand them to designated NPCs to earn contribution points. During the event, contribution can be exchanged for high-value rewards. Behind it were 2 tables. The first said, a 1-star gray rat equals 1 point of contribution, a 2-star gray rat equals 5 points, a 3-star gray rat equals 30 points. Note that contribution cannot be transferred. The second said, for credits equal 1 contribution point, a perfect quality soft cuirass costs 70 points with a cap of 100 exchanges. 1 hour of a 4-star trainer costs 100 points with a cap of 100. A 3-star cheetah cub costs 450 points capped at 20. A 1-year usage right for a certain street shop rent-free costs 900 points capped at 20. A 3-star wolf dog cub costs 900 points capped at 10. A 4-star eagle owl cub costs 5,000 points capped at 1. A registration code costs 10,000 points capped at 10, and so on. After reading she was silent for a long while, with only one thought in her head: the gray rat horde was doomed. Registration code for 10,000 contribution. Bok Kanjong was itching to rush out and grind. Bok San Hoa stayed calm. Split the forces. I will lead people to queue at Red Wing Clinic to buy medicine. You take the team outside to grind. A different light flickered in his eyes, betraying inner unrest. As you say. Bok Kanjong cooperated fully. 3-star cheetah cub, 3-star wolf dog cub, 4-star eagle owl cub. Kang Trek Duong admired to the point of tears and wished he could engrave gold to change fate. Imagine if he kept swiping his card and managed a 4-star battle pet and sealed a pact. Then why farm fields at all? He would long have taken his precious pet to fight to his heart's content. The growth rate would be perfect. Feng Yinggu looked at registration code equals 10,000 contribution and his mind auto converted it into 10,000 contribution equals 3 million. Han Jia Khan calculated that his guild's combat strength was not explosive. To redeem rare items like 3-star cubs they would need the guild's full force, and even if they redeemed one they might not seal a pact. So what was the point? Members asked. The game company finally runs an event. What do we do? He said. Do as you please. If you want and then form your own teams, if not then keep playing as usual. This looks dangerous. Staying alive matters. Members were speechless. It was the very image of a retirement, free-range guild. Not all guilds were that aimless. The Greedy Wolf Guild was different. Chairman Chu Fai Jia, seeing 3-star wolf dog cub, 4-star eagle owl cub, and registration code, was thrilled. Our era has finally arrived. The Greedy Wolf had just over 30 members only because the bar to entry was high. Better few than messy. Every member was a fighter. Levels were at least 2-star or higher with rich combat experience. And each had a 2-star wolf dog battle pet, doubling battle power. Vice Chairman Don Tin predicted, gray rats are mostly 1-star, not hard to handle. Rewards so rich may turn this into kill stealing. then strike first, Chufai Jia ordered, and every online member set out for the wilds. At the same time Tan Van dug the last 2 bags of cornmeal from the kitchen. Bloomy, stores are almost gone, really? Van Sam was making golden tofu, first grinding peas, removing skins, rinsing and boiling, then stir-sugaring and letting them set into pale golden blocks, fragrant and cool and delicious. Because she sifted carefully, the texture was exquisite. One bite led to another. Tan Van fretted, the manner is feeding 100 wolf dogs. That is not a small number. Brother Bach hunts daily, but meat alone is not enough. They need fine rice and corn cakes. Before we had stores and the pups were small, so it barely sufficed. Now they are growing and eating more. The stock is almost gone. What is left will barely last 2 days, and most grain shops ration purchases. Even if we hit several in a row, we will not buy much. I know. This was not her first time feeding 100 beasts, and she knew exactly how hard it was to keep them full. In fact, when she logged off last night, she was still troubled. Who knew that logging in today the autumn hunt would open? And at once she had a plan. Seeing her confidence, Tan Van stopped talking and went to prepare dinner at ease. At dusk the first day of autumn hunt ended and the card swipers wailed on the forums, naive as ever. I thought the pot would be thin and many hands would share, that stepping into the wilds would mean kill-steal fights. It turns out I was too naive. The scramble began right from trauma bomb and restoration pills, beached salted fish. I queued over 2 hours and finally bought trauma bomb. Can you believe it? A day's online time is how much? All wasted in line, cannot stay calm, killed 5 1-star rats but could not carry them all back. Who was more miserable than me? Math not great. Day 1 I killed 7 1-stars and 2 2-stars for a total of 17 contribution. Question: after 15 days how much will I have and how do I allocate it wisely? Answer: I do not want to take part in this event anymore. With that the Great Misery Conference began in earnest. There was no most miserable, only more miserable. Overhead 300 bottles of trauma bomb, 100 bottles of restoration pills, exchange only not for sale, interested parties DM, tagging the group. She finished composing her post and was about to send it when a chat popped first. Carry me godlike, you there, big shot, are the trauma bomb and restoration pills available to exchange? She found this one a talent. When he had nothing he was mild and uncontentious, but once he wanted something his eyes turned lupin and his hands were lightning fast. She tweaked her message and replied, overhead 300 bottles of trauma bomb and 100 bottles of restoration pills, only for grain in exchange. After calculating the profit ratio while fighting for medicine, Van Sam estimated suitable prices for rice, flour, corn, sorghum, and soybeans. The other party stared at the list for a long time before finally saying it was too much. Their warehouse couldn't hold that much, and asked if cash could cover the difference. Ever since she got the registration code and pulled Bak Kanjong into the game, he had plenty of money, so paying with cash was ideal. Bak San Hoa assumed Van Sam would instantly agree, but she instead sent a cold "the family isn't short on money" sticker that shut him up. He reminded her that the batch was too large and even if she found others, no one could take it all. Van Sam casually replied that if one person couldn't eat it all, she'd find several more. She had plenty of points and cash. What she lacked was grain. The big client Bak San Hoa felt no warmth from her this time and finally compromised, agreeing to buy 100 bottles of golden wound medicine and 50 bottles of recovery pills. As the deal was closing, he suddenly remembered she'd already sold the formulas to Hong Fong Medical Hall and asked if she could still do business. Van Sam said it didn't matter. The previous agreement was that she'd provided the formula. The medical hall sold and shared net profit, but there were no other restrictions. Bak San Ho relaxed and asked for coordinates to meet. The day before, Tan Van had just talked to Van Sam about the food shortage, and the next day saw the warehouse filled with sacks of rice, dumbfounded at how she'd done it. Since the virtual apocalypse game often made food unobtainable even with points, yesterday they'd been worried about starving. Today they had enough for half a month. Too miraculous. Van Sam patted a rice sack and said, from now on, whatever you're short of, tell me, I'll figure it out. And Tan Van nodded hard, safety flooding her heart. After checking the sacks, confirming the count, Van Sam logged off and opened her alchemy chat, posting 200 golden wand medicine, 50 recovery pills, trade for grain, urgent, tagging everyone. The chat exploded with praise that no matter what happened the guild leader always found business, a true genius. Others sighed that if they had half her brains they'd be rich already. Some begged for help saying they were going mad waiting in line at Hong Fong. Another asked what trading for grain meant. Weren't points or cash better? Van Sam simply said she only wanted food. One user wailed that he always ate in the system cafeteria so had no stored food and couldn't even buy a medicine bottle. Van Sam advised him to first trade others for food then trade her for medicine, and asked if anyone wanted to act as middleman. trading her medicines for food and later exchanging for whatever they needed. Several people messaged her privately. She sold 30 bottles here, 20 there, and soon cleared her stock before announcing that the batch was sold out. Next time soon, after wrapping up, she returned to her estate with piles of food. Chef Man saw the rice hauled in, straightened his back and felt alive again, ready to cook freely. In the yard, a tiger-striped rabbit lay limp after being trampled. The pack of wolf dogs ran around wildly with excess energy, and Van Sam thought it was time to take them out for training. She called Dihak, Luke, picked up the young white tiger, whistled for 5 white hawks, and prepared to take 100 wolf dogs outside. Luke glanced around at the black mass of second-star wolf dogs and muttered, "We're just going out like this," thinking strangers might mistake it for a beast tide. Van Sam firmly said yes, they'd get used to it. She explained that her beasts wore cloud-shaped wooden tags on their necks with estate coordinates and owner info, so calm observers would see they were tamed, not wild. Luke privately thought most people would panic anyway, but since the doctor decided she wouldn't stop her, after agreeing, the two in their vast beast pack headed out. The whitehawks circled freely in the sky, scouting ahead, and when they found prey, they gave long or short whistles to alert. Gray rats spotted. Van Sam smiled, waved her hand, and the pack charged toward the sound. By the time she arrived leisurely, 5 one-star gray rats were already dead. She ordered to carry them and continue. Luke followed silently, witnessing the pack's evolution, first chaotic swarming, then dividing into 5 teams taking turns, until by sunset they no longer needed orders. On hearing a hawk whistle, they hunted automatically. Luke was shocked. She'd seen many beasts, but wolf dogs this smart were rare, and what was stranger was their obedience without contracts. Every order Van Sam gave they followed perfectly. What kind of gift was that? Glancing at Van Sam, she found the woman more unfathomable. As dusk fell, Van Sam clapped and called them back, each wolf dog carrying something: gray rats, red-bellied pheasants, tiger rabbits, white cranes, all obediently following. Luke warned that gray rat beasts carried fleas, best not to keep overnight. The central camp leader had set up an exchange point. Gray rats should be burned immediately to prevent plague. Van Sam smiled and said she had another plan. Back home, she washed and fed the beasts, then opened her black watch, scrolled her friends list, picked 5, and sent a copied message. 53 one-star gray rats, 11 two-star gray rats, interested. At the central camp, Bok San-hoa collected all gray rats from guild members and delivered them himself to an NPC labeled Activity Supervisor under black text, guarded by 20 soldiers. The supervisor counted 48 one-star, 22 two-star, 3 three-star gray rats, totaling 248 contribution points, then transferred them to his watch. But Bok San-hoa didn't look happy, frowning tightly. At this rate, he could maybe afford perfect gear or a 3-star cub, but exchanging for a registration code was hopeless. Gray rats scattered across the wild were harder to find than kill. Today's luck yielded 1 3-star. Tomorrow who knew? Even combining all guild strength they barely earned a few hundred points daily. 10,000 was distant. While he pondered, his watch beeped with messages. He opened them speechless. It was Van Sam again. While others grinded events she was trading and soaring. Truly a genius of commerce. What amazed him was her sharp eye for demand, always making players throw money at her. Like the medicine deal, outdoor events were dangerous, chased by high-star beasts. Healing fast meant surviving better, so good medicine was essential. Somehow Van Sam always had stock before others even queued at Hong Fong, slipping in her goods to exchange for supplies. Same with gray rats, as he observed. Whoever handed them to the supervisor got the points. The NPC didn't care about origin, meaning he could technically buy rats from others and submit them himself. While he was still weighing the pros and cons, Van Sam directly messaged offering to trade gray rats, acting far faster than anyone. After thinking it through he refused, replying he wasn't aiming for the registration code and didn't want to spend more, telling her to find others. She had sent the same 5 messages, 2 refused, 2 didn't reply. One named Tothyudin instantly agreed, saying, "Name your price, I'll take all." Van Sam smirked and quoted a rate in rice and grain. He accepted and asked for a location. She gave her estate coordinates, and he said to wait. 15 minutes later, he appeared at her gate with people pushing carts piled high with grain, led by over a dozen blue-named players, all 3rd-star, which at their level meant elites acting as porters, making Van Sam frown at the oddity. She waved, and her wolf dogs rushed out, dumping piles of gray rats. Tothyudin's eyes gleamed at the sight of the 2-star beasts, asking if she'd sell them. Not for sale. Van Sam refused instantly. Those were her edge in the game, no money could buy them. He seemed slightly disappointed but didn't insist, signaling his men to unload the food, load the rats, and telling her if she caught more to contact him, he'd buy everything. Van Sam nodded, deal done. He left with his team heading toward the exchange point. Watching his fading figure, she murmured that he'd always been gentle in past trades, but now his aura had changed, sharp and resolute, as if determined to seize the event's reward. How's the rat plague? On a rare day of clarity, Luke Min, the moment his reason returned, called Huyu Die before him to ask for progress. Lately we can hunt down more than 3,000 a day. Both other-world travelers and settlement residents are taking part enthusiastically, Huyu Die reported. Per your orders, any gray rat caught is burned on the spot to prevent the plague from spreading. Only, so many rat pelts, burning them feels a bit of a waste. Red Wind has never lacked for animal hides. Luke Min cut him off, tongue sharp. The rat plague is gravely dangerous, contagion strong. I want zero mistakes. Yes, Huyu Die obeyed. Luke Min picked up the report on the desk and read with care. Huyu Die added from time to time, around Red Wind we've never seen rat-type beasts before. Their coming is truly odd. We thought it was an early discovery and the numbers not large, but deeper investigation shows at least 2,000 adult gray rats in the wild. They're good at hiding and breed incredibly fast. Each passing day adds some 3,000 or 4,000 newborns. If they get more time, imagining gray rats everywhere in the wastes, so many that their tracks can't be hidden and thus get exposed. Huyu Die felt his scalp prickle. The settlement kills more than 3,000 daily, yet newborns grow by 3,000 or 4,000, so we're net positive each day? Luke Min's face went cold, as if demanding to know what kind of job they were doing. Huyu Die explained quickly, gray rats are a new kind of beast. At first folk didn't know their habits and they were hard to trace. Keeping the scale from expanding was already hard. Give us a few days to grasp the pattern and our culls will rise. Once the slain outnumber the newly born, wiping them out is only a matter of time. Can't wait. Luke Min set the report down. I'll go myself. Huyu Die. My lord, your body is unwell. Please remain inside and recuperate. He tried to persuade him, but Luke Min was already on his feet to depart. Huyu Die, more anxious, blurted, the divine physician said you were not to get involved. Luke Min halted, frowned at him. Huyu Die braced himself. She said, the heavier the killing karma, the worse the mental state. When the illness strikes it's even harder to control. If you personally go kill, the condition will worsen day by day. Luke Min was silent for a blink, then said coolly, she's truly busy of late, with no time to check on me, so she wouldn't know. Huyu Die wasn't sure if it was an illusion, but he felt he heard a hint of grievance. Out of the way. As Luke Min was about to step out, Van Sam happened to enter with breakfast. Where are you going? Luke Min stayed silent. Huyu Die, quick-witted, smoothed it over. My lord says the room is stifling and he wants a walk to ease his mood. I made bean paste rolls, try them, Van Sam said, setting the tray before him. The rolls were snow-white and delicate, with sweet fragrant bean paste that melted on the tongue, still warm from the steamer. Luke Min waved it aside. Leave it there, I'm not hungry. What's wrong? Van Sam looked to Huyu Die for answers. Huyu Die, was he angry at being kept from going out, or angry that the physician was too busy, or both, he couldn't tell. While he puzzled, Luke Min asked, didn't you pay all your debts? Why are you still this busy? Because it's fun. Van Sam's lips couldn't help rising. Brewing medicine, hunting, doing business, playing management, it's super fun. Luke Min looked at her a long time without speaking. Van Sam. In truth the medicine is to make it convenient for everyone going out. I also take the wolfhounds to hunt grey rats. All of it is to solve the plague. I'm going out now to solve the plague, Luke Min said, striding for the door. Van Sam blinked. My lord wants to take matters into his own hands and exterminate the rats. Huyu Die cried, nearly driven mad. Van Sam still remembered the previous life. Every time Luke Min's illness had just improved, accidents would erupt in the settlement. The lord would be forced to quell the chaos, and right after that his illness would worsen a step. She had tried to dissuade him in many ways, but the patient wouldn't listen. After treating and treating, she had despaired. You must not go. Van Sam hugged him tight from behind, refusing to let him leave. I'll clear a batch and return. Luke Min didn't move, letting her hold him. I have a sense of measure. Van Sam, I don't believe you. In this life she refused to relive. Doctor fights to heal, patient acts woefully. If he wanted treatment, he should listen to her and be treated properly. If he insisted on ruining his body, then don't treat at all, so she could cut off the thought and go admire someone else instead. You cannot go, she stressed again. I am the Lord. I must go, Luke Min said solemnly. Van Sam hesitated 2 heartbeats, then amended, unless you go with me together. Hu Yu Gie, divine physician, have you any principles left? Van Sam, Luke Min, Hu Yu Gie, Lucy, Big Black, Little White, the White Kites, the Wolfhounds, nearly 100 mouths in the household rolled out in force. The manor sealed off the grain stores. To prevent accidents, Van Sam left 20 wolfhounds to guard the house, then led the rest to depart. The White Kites circled in the sky and quickly assigned each person a direction to scout. The wolfhounds strolled unhurriedly, patient as ever. When the Kites' whistle signaled gray rats, the dogs' lazy looks vanished at once. They sprinted, and under aerial guidance closed the distance in short bounds, approaching targets at top speed. Luke Min watched a while and nodded slightly. Not bad at all. Of course, raised by me, Van Sam said, proud. While they chatted, Lucy scooped up Big Black and Hu Yu Gie took Little White, both quietly falling back. Big Black? It was about to yowl when a vine gently smeared across its body. At once it lost strength and sagged, limp in Lucy's arms. Lucy shaped the words, be good, then extended a hand to press its eyes shut and force sleep. Big Black, you're the one not being good. Not far away, Luke Min was explaining why he insisted on going out. Gray rats reproduce too fast, the fewer adults left, the better. Van Sam, she understood the logic, but she just didn't want him leaving. Well, they were already here. She gave up struggling. Go ahead and kill. With her watching, things wouldn't get too bad. Luke Min paused to scan the distance and headed a certain way. Before long, 5 one-star gray rats and 2 two-star gray rats appeared before them. Tathian Tuiti roamed the wilds with her cousin Lam Shuyan gone, along with the cousin's college roommates, old acquaintances in real life. Careful, a beast is approaching. Lam Shuyan Gon's ears twitched and he warned. The teammates formed a ring and took defensive stance. They all knew that right after entering the game he had awakened the gift of sharpened hearing, able to catch sounds ordinary people can't. Thanks to that gift, the squad had moved safely through the wilds and more than once avoided a wipe. After a moment, Tathian Tuiti cried in delight, 2-star gray rats and pups. 2-star meant very valuable, pups meant not hard to handle. Meeting 3 at once was great luck. At that, Lam Shuyan smiled a fraction, prepared to attack. The team surged forward and soon felled the 3 2-star pups. Tathian Tuiti cheerily did the math. 1 2-star gray rat equals 5 contribution, 1 contribution equals 4 points, so 1 rat is 20 points, at the rate of 1 point to 70 coins. 3 rats are 4,200 coins, split even, everyone gets a nice cut. Exchanging directly is tiring, said Lam Shuyan. Lately some players are secretly buying gray rats at 24 or 25 points for a 2-star, sell to them and we earn more. The teammates grew excited. While the event's hot, run a few wild trips and next term's tuition might drop. More than that, living expenses could be saved up too. They were all students with similar family means. On a whim, Lam Shuyan had heard his cousin complain about part-time work and mentioned Doomsday Stronghold being on fire and even making money, so he called his roommates to snipe access codes. He figured codes were hard to get and had the brothers help, so if anyone got one they'd give it to him, who knew the codes would be time-limited and had to be used within 3 minutes. Or else the qualification vanished, in that span even registering your own account was a scramble, let alone passing it off, so they each had to snag and use their own. Whether it was dorm feng shui or a young hands being fast, all 4 roommates scored codes. Lam Shuyan simply rallied the brothers and formed a party. After a spell they realized hunting in-game made money easier than side gigs, so they took Doomsday Stronghold ever more seriously. Hearing his cousin lament the grind, he called her over to hunt with them. The roommates, grateful to Tathian Tuiti for the chance to earn, didn't mind bringing her, thus the lot cheerfully partied up. With 3 pups already, there might be a gray rat nest nearby. Spread out and look, Tathian Tuiti said as she moved. NPCs buying gray rats don't care adult or pup, only the star rank. If we find a nest of 2-star pups, that's a windfall. The more they thought, the more excited they grew, and their steps turned lighter. Soon, Lam Shuyan twitched an ear, peeled back brush to reveal a burrow, listened, then shouted, "Come quick, I found a gray rat nest." No sooner said than 3 2-star pups burst out. The teammates whooped and converged. "How'd you spot that? Amazing. We're rich. Agon gets first credit, he's the main contributor. When we split profits he should take double." While they chattered, 5 more 2-star pups rushed out. Tathian Tuiti's smile froze. Why does this feel off? Before she finished, for more emerged. In a blink the situation flipped from squad hunts 2-star pups to 2-star pups relying on numbers to encircle them. Never mind cashing in on pups, whether they could keep their lives was in doubt. They stared at one another. Lam Shuyan roared, "What are you dazing for? Run!" They spun and bolted. the two-star pups chased relentlessly, eyes gleaming with ferocity. Why won't they shake off? They're just pups, yet the pursuit is so fast, no wonder they're two-star beasts. You still have time to babble, shut up and run seriously. Lam Shuyangan was about to accelerate when, up ahead in the trees, a two-star wolfhound poked out its head. They froze, then 6 more poked out. More than 20 two-star wolfhounds stepped from the woods and blocked their path. It's over. Caught front and back, Thien Tuti despaired, already foreseeing a character death in-game and her own loss of the right to play. Her skin condition hadn't even fully improved yet. She burst into tears. More than 20 two-star wolf dogs bunched together in a knot. A single glance showed a dark mass pressing down with menacing force. Lin Siyen shielded Su Tien Tuet, face grim. The teammates glanced at the pack, drew one breath and nearly fainted. Why are there so many two-star beasts? Is there a den nearby? The others knew there was nowhere good to run. Faces drained of color, they still formed a ring and tucked Su Tien Tuet into the very middle. Looks like we can't dodge this time. Lin Siyen lowered his voice, words quick. In a moment grab the chance to split and run. As many as can get away will be as many. Ahead, more than 20 two-star wolf dogs blocked the road. Behind, a dozen plus two-star gray rat pups chased, just as they were about to be attacked from both sides, and a big fight was about to open its curtain. A wolf dog sprang, brushed past the players, and chased straight after the gray rats. Lin Siyen's group, the wolves held the numbers and the size advantage and in a blink bit all the gray rat pups to death. So cool. Su Tien Tuet gasped. The wolves flattened their ears, clamped gray rats in their jaws, and turned to flee. The group, saved from disaster, needed a long while to come back to themselves. Su Tien Tuet watched the direction the wolves left, could not help repeating, so cute, I even want to raise one. Get real, two-star wolf dogs don't look like battle pets. A teammate popped her bubble, who knew Su Tien Tuet answered firmly, their house raised, and there was a tag hanging on the neck. She had caught a glimpse and at once thought of a household pet dog. A tag on the neck. Lin Siyen was surprised. What kind of tag? Su Tien Tuet said. Just a wooden token, looked like it had writing on it. Pity the fur was too long and covered the words so I couldn't see clearly. I've seen battle pets. This pack of wolf dogs doesn't look like it. Lin Siyen wondered. I heard only after making a pack does it count as a battle pet, and a person can raise only one. Maybe some player awakened a special gift? Su Tien Tuet guessed. Before anyone answered she changed the topic. Whatever the reason, we got saved anyway, right? Lucky nothing happened. Thinking back, the members still felt afraid. If the rats had not been hunted down and they instead lost their game qualification, that would have been real trouble. Van Sam and Luke Min moved and halted, and before long had hunted 26 one-star gray rats and 32 two-star gray rats. Van Sam glanced far off, could barely see any trace of Luke and Hugh Nia, thinking those two really feared nothing. But then she thought, with Luke Min there, if something happens it happens to others. These are for you. A glint of amusement slid through Luke Min's eyes. Van Sam said, you killed them, why give them to me? There's an event soon, take them to exchange for the prize you want. Luke Min paused a beat and added, call it rent. She did not mind the hard work accompanying him out, and taking a little pay was only proper. Thinking so, Van Sam accepted calmly, then I will not be polite. She lifted the bamboo sentry whistle and blew, summoning the wolves back. At the same time she considered returning to the manor first to drop the game and then coming back to hunt. The sharp whistle sliced out a long way. Van Sam waited a moment but did not see the wolves return, and instead more than 20 players ran over. President, so many gray rats. Seeing the ground covered with gray rats, both 1-star and 2-star. The teammates were thrilled and shocked. No matter how many, they're unrelated to you, they're mine. Van Sam stated ownership seriously. Just as she finished, more than 20 two-star wolves appeared not far away. Van Sam thought her fur kids had come back, but looking closer she saw the pack had even 3-star mixed in and they slipped nimbly to the side of the president. So the other side was raising battle pets. An NPC bodyguard isn't almighty. Guild President Chufai Jia looked at Van Sam with a not quite smile, implying, no harvest is ever worth more than keeping your life, right? It was like she was being robbed. Van Sam did not worry and even had the mood to chat. In theory that is so, if you cannot win, a strategic retreat is reasonable. But today she had brought a 5-star beast out the door, so no matter how many opponents there were, no fear. Chufai Jia did not hear the subtext and thought she was conceding to live. He waved his hand, beaming, clear away all the gray rats. Van Sam sighed, really, why not be a bit upright? Others want gray rats and use small change to buy, but you, fine, you just rob in the wilds. What if you run into a strict inspection? Buying costs money, does it not? You paying? Chufai Jia sneered. Vice President Don Tin secretly watched Van Sam and vaguely sensed something off. this one did not complain, did not swallow grievance, and had not a trace of fear from being under someone's thumb, rather as if watching a play, only that, a white-named 2-star player and an NPC guard, what flowers could they possibly pull off? They're gilded people with battle pets, a total of 8 3-star experts, and even if they ran into a 4-star master they still had life for. Life strength, perhaps the ignorant know no fear. The other side simply did not know what kind of terrifying opponent they had met. Don Tin convinced himself and unhurriedly waited for members to pick up the rats. As the players neared to reach out, Van Sam turned and tattled to Luke Min. He thinks with his numbers you cannot win. Luke Min swept the players a glance and asked coolly, shall I just kill them all? Killing over and over is not good. Van Sam showed disapproval, then added, cripple them. The two discussed as if no one else existed. Hearing them, Chufai Jia's eyes mocked. With such a gulf in strength, they still wanted to fight. Without tasting pain they would not know fear. No need to say much. Chufai Jia and Don Tin worked seamlessly and attacked together. At first clash they used their strongest skills. The 3-star wolves lunged, choosing weak spots to bite. Luke Min felled foes with one punch each, turning the whole field on its head. Chufai Jia took a heavy punch, crashed to the ground, and lay for a long time unable to rise. He stared at Luke Min in disbelief, wondering who this NPC was. What star level? Was there such a person in the camp? Why had he never seen him? When the enemies were wiped, Van Sam smiled. No points are ever worth more than a life. You're a rational sort. Surely you're willing to spend to buy yours. Chufai Jia. Earlier Van Sam had asked, what if you run into strict inspection? In truth he had not believed it mattered. There were only so many experts in the camp. How could they so coincidentally appear? Even if they did, not to say they would win. 3 stars could cover the retreat and the others could flee, no problem. With no deep hatred, experts would not chase to the bitter end. After all, this was the wilds. Burn too much stamina and meat beasts, that spells trouble. Chufai Jia thought his logic sound. They had always played this way without real mistakes, until today, when more than 20 surrounded 2 and flipped the boat in a ditch. The whole guild was captured and the other side demanded ransom. How much? From entering the game till now he had never suffered such humiliation, but the situation stronger than man, he had to bow. Losing qualification would be truly finished. 2,000 points per person. Van Sam named a price. So pricey, someone cried. Why not just rob us? On the market one registration code goes for 3 million, and in the government event one code is worth 40,000 points, which converts to 2.8 million in cash, and that is even for a newbie number. Van Sam laid out facts and reason. Your combined strength is at least 2-star plus battle pets. 2,000 points apiece is cheap. Madwoman, you're crazy for points. Someone erupted, stomped, and shouted. Van Sam clicked her tongue. So you may blockade and rob, but others may not reverse kill at the cliff's edge? If you go out to mix, you must pay it back. Lacking even that awareness, the man's face flushed for no reason and he stammered wordless. It was my bad call. The guild will pay, Chufai Jia said through a green face, each word squeezed out. Less skilled, I concede. In all there are 26 of you, which makes 52,000 points. Van Sam tallied fast. All right, transfer it. Gritting his teeth, Chufai Jia rose, operated his black watch, and slowly walked toward Van Sam. I am not unreasonable. Once the points arrive I let you go at once, Van Sam promised. But faster than words, Luke Min's eyes went cold, his left arm cinched Van Sam into his chest, and his right hand flashed out. Focusing, Van Sam saw 2 little green snakes in his grip, name in blue, 3-star, venomous to the extreme. She was speechless. Was that necessary? She had meant to take money and teach a lesson, not to boot them out of the game. Though her special gift meant juvenile snakes would not bite her, and though Luke Min's level made a bite useless, for the others, once bitten it was certain death. It only showed Chufai Jia was ruthless and vicious enough to flip the table the instant he caught a chance. Wait, the killing move failed to land and Chufai Jia's heart tightened. He was about to say he knew when to advance and retreat, that he would pay the points, just do not let him die. Luke Min's pupils were swiftly dyed blood red and his voice went icy. You are courting death. Chufai Jia did not even get the chance to explain before he turned into white light. It was all the president's idea. I knew nothing. I am innocent. I was wrong. Spare me this once. I swear I will be good. We are all players, no need to hack and kill. Deep breaths. Calm down, let us sit and talk. If you spare me I am willing to pay 4,000 points to buy my life, or 8,000. Realizing they were about to lose qualification, the players panicked and said anything. Luke Min's skin was pale, hair black as ink, eyes devoid of feeling, like death himself reaping heads. In a blink the guild was annihilated. Fury not yet spent and eyes still red, he strode away. My lord. Luke and Hugh Nia finally arrived, intending to stop him from acting at will. Van Sam hugged him and whispered, my fault. if they had killed outright at the start there would have been none of the rest, and he would not have been provoked into losing reason. Luke Min turned back and stared blankly at her. After a long while the blood in his eyes receded and his breathing steadied. Not your fault, afraid the divine doctor would be frightened. Hugh Nia racked his brain to explain, my Lord worried the divine doctor would be hurt, so he struck ruthlessly to erase them. Van Sam, I know, she did not like killing, but she had no sympathy for kidnappers. Their malice overflowed, and death was deserved. Only when she recalled it all did she sigh. Man does not intend to harm Tiger, yet Tiger intends to harm man. When you meet brutes by bad luck, goodwill is easily betrayed. Van Sam wrapped her arms around Luke Min, heart heavy. In this world most are ordinary, a few are extremely good, a few extremely evil. In his past life just how much extreme evil had he suffered to be so disappointed in human nature that in the end he trusted no one? Van Sam could not even recall how she later got back to the manor. In any case she tended to Luke Min and left the rest for Luke and Hugh Nia to handle. Uncomfortable, Luke Min murmured in his sleep, feeling herself in the wrong. Van Sam obediently served as a hugging pillow. Later whether he slept she did not know, only that she fell asleep. At last her online time for the day hit the cap and the system forced her offline. After one sleep she found herself lying on the bed with the headset on. Morning of the next day already here. How was he? Missing him. Van Sam logged in again. In the room, Luke Min was awake. On seeing her his first words were, "Are you all right? How could anything be wrong with her?" Van Sam shook her head. "Thanks to you blocking for me, I was not hurt." Good then. The air fell suddenly quiet. The two faced each other and for a moment had nothing to say. This was my fault. Van Sam self-examined. I should not have traded barbs with them. Luke Min said instead, "It had nothing to do with you. This place is a muddle of fish and dragons, and when you find those with ill intent, erasing them is proper." Van Sam looked up in surprise, hardly believing those words came from him. What is it? Luke Min noticed her complexion change. Nothing. Van Sam smiled, while a strange thought rose in her heart. May it be that in the second round, they will have a perfect ending. Yesterday, after hunting grey rats and selling them to Tafu Din in exchange for a batch of new rations, Lumen quickly calmed down from his bold emotions, and his condition did not worsen. After breakfast, the pack of dogs led by Bok Chuan instinctively went out to hunt. Seeing everything in order, Van Sam relaxed and temporarily logged out of the game. Ever since the car accident after going out for food, she had relied on online shopping for everything, whether snacks or rice, all ordered online and delivered to her door. Today she cooked noodles paired with spicy soy chicken, savoring it slowly. While eating, she opened her info account intending to check public participation in events, but as soon as she opened it, it lagged. Are these people mainly playing or gossiping? Why are they so chaotic lately? She muttered. After a while the system recovered, and her feed returned to normal. Glancing through, she was surprised to find every game forum showing 99 plus new messages. Even the long-dead zombie thread was suddenly alive. What on earth happened? Curious, she opened her usual engraving gold forum. Ordinary Scholar, buying points, 1 point equals 100 coins, come if you're fast. Ordinary Scholar, buying healing potions, price equals market plus 140%, trade with points or cash. Ordinary Scholar, buying grey rats, 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars all fine, price equals government rate plus 140%. Ordinary Scholar, during the event, hiring temp workers. Here's the daily pay chart. Van Sam recognized that Ordinary Scholar was Tafu Din's handle, the same one she traded with, yet, in both lives, Tafu Din had seemed just a normal rich man. So why was he now burning money like crazy? What triggered this? The forum was full of fast-handed users, and once they saw the rewards, they went wild. My heaven, 15-day event, a 3-star day job earns about a year's salary. Boss, you're too generous. Sudden enlightenment. He always said he was a modest casual spender. Liar. No normal whale is this decisive, a melon eater. The sky wants to rain, the bride wants to wed, and the tycoon wants to throw money. Can't stop them. Dream pressed by 10 faces. Is he throwing 30 million, 300 million to buy registration codes? Neil, how many hidden tycoons are in this chat? Without this event I'd never know how rich you all are. Senior pretty boy, any sugar mamas here? Big sis, I give up on hard work. Money lover, don't stop me. Today I must bow for wealth. Rural eyes. So rich guys disguise themselves as regulars? City folks really know how to play. My realization, never thought there'd be such a financial powerhouse here. This is true money power. Someone even posted a joke. Game company, calculating time to host an event. Boss, eyes shining what? Registration codes? Out of my way, I'm going big. Poor player, sudden clarity. They said money doesn't matter in VR games, liars. It's just that we didn't spend it right. Van Sam was speechless. She now understood why Tathuddin's 3-star subordinates were so many. Scrolling through forums made it obvious. Countless users were declaring loyalty to their sugar daddy for a chance at quick riches. After all, earning in half a month what others earn in a year, who wouldn't shout, "I want more money"? In other forums it was the same. His massive spending sparked heated debates. Clearly, he was serious about throwing money. Van Sam found it incredible. She had never realized he was such a super spender. He'd hidden it too well. Could this flashy splurge be to buy a registration code? She mused while typing notes. If the sugar daddy's this eager, maybe he'll pay extra for gray rats. Unknowingly she sank into thought. Since the dogs under Bok Schwan were self-disciplined, she finally had free time. Want to stroll around the camp? Lu Min said, "I want to check how the gray rat hunt's going." "I'll come," she agreed. The estate was in a lower-class area, surrounded by land for rent or sale, so besides her there were other players. She, Lu Min, Hu Nia, Luk, Dai Hak, and Tu Bok headed toward the camp center. Meanwhile, in a bamboo courtyard nearby, a fat-bellied gray rat lay groaning while 2 low-level male players watched nervously. "How long is a rat's labor? Is she about to give birth? What do we need? Food, warm water, towels, first time midwifing a rat." "No clue," said the other awkwardly, "but a 2-star rat mom should be tough. Maybe just let her handle it herself." They stared at each other, helpless. Then came sharp squeaks, and one after another baby rat plopped out. The tall player cheered. "She's giving birth." "We're rich," he crowed, proud of his brilliance. Yesterday, their team had found a 2-star pregnant rat, and while others wanted to kill it, he stopped them. "The belly's huge, maybe about to give birth. If we raise her a bit, we won't just get one 2-star gray rat but 10, 20. Someone objected. "Who knows how long rats are pregnant? Maybe 3 months. What if she never gives birth? We'd miss the whole event." Back then he'd said, "She looks about to pop, 2 days max. If not, we kill her." Repeated reasoning convinced them, and they agreed, even scheduling shifts to guard her. Now, after only 1 day, she'd given birth. A rough glance, 7 2-stars, 5 1-stars, and she was still going. The tall player grinned wide, pleased with his cleverness, thinking how much he'd earn. But then his teammate said, "Their eyes, don't they look strange, all staring at us?" In that instant, the tall man remembered newborns need to eat immediately to replenish energy. They'd prepared no food, and in the yard, the only edible things were the 2 of them. Sweat drenched him. "She's done birthing, kill the little ones now," he yelled. Since contribution points didn't care about size, newborns counted the same. His friend snapped to action, drew his blade, slashed wildly. But there were too many. 15 or 16 half-hand-sized gray rats glared bloodthirstily, lunging forward, one falling another leaping, swarming the players. "Ah," the tall player cried as 4 fell to his blade before one bit his ankle. He grimaced, "Kill them fast." His friend panicked, "Too many, can't handle it." Worse, the mother rat was still birthing. Now he realized even newborns were 1 and 2-star beasts, sheer numbers overwhelming. Gritting teeth, he decided, kill the mother first, at least that'd stop more. While taking medicine and washing wounds, they could finish the rest. "Kill what? Damn it," his partner shouted. "We're surrounded." Within moments, the swarm had grown to 23, 24, enough to despair. His companion felt doomed, desperate. The tall man shouted, "Anyone nearby? Tons of 2-star rat pups here, come grab some." In crisis, he forgot about contribution and just wanted to live. Just then Van Sam's group passed by, heard the cry, looked, and saw a nightmare. Over 20 gray rats tearing at 2 players, like they'd eat them alive. Lu Min gently pulled Van Sam into his arms, turning her away from the grisly scene. Luk, Hu Nia, Dai Hak, and Tu Bok struck fast, killing all the rats. "Thanks, brother," gasped the tall player, drinking a potion. Hu Nia looked at the mother rat, frowning. "You caught gray rats but didn't kill them, you kept them to breed." The tall man laughed weakly. "We thought we'd observe one for research, to understand habits. Didn't expect her to give birth right away." Hu Nia squinted. What kind of lame excuse was that? Van Sam wasn't surprised. Only NPCs couldn't imagine. But players would do anything, risking life for contribution, repeating dumb mistakes. It was typical. "Thanks for saving us," said the tall player cautiously. "By right, whoever kills the rats owns them, but could we keep the mother?" "She's team property," Lu Min said. "You illegally raised gray rats, breaking the camp's safety law. All beasts must be surrendered." Both froze. "What law?" Hu Nia explained. Lately gray rats had become a menace, so the camp issued new policy. Any resident seeing one must kill or report it. Breeding them was strictly forbidden. Since they endangered camp safety, with evidence clear, they must hand over all rats and pay fines. "We never heard of such a rule in Red Wind Camp," they protested. Right then 10 3-star NPC guards arrived. Luke quietly lowered his hand, hiding his rank. Faced with guards, the men dared not argue, obediently paid fines and watched as Nia strung the rat pups on a vine and carried them off. After the NPCs left, one groaned, "No pups, no mother." "How do we explain to the team?" the tall man instantly said. "She had 30 pups and died from labor." His partner gaped. 30 pups, died in childbirth, what nonsense. Sometimes he really wondered how his teammates' brain grew full of such bizarre ideas. "Just kidding," sighed the tall man. "Being alive is lucky enough. We'll figure out how to tell the team later." How on earth would anyone want to raise gray rats? Nia, genuinely baffled, finally blurted out after they had walked a stretch. Van Sam answered evenly, "If the profit is big enough, people will do anything. Notify the guard squad to add manpower. Keep a tighter watch." Lukeman lowered his gaze, thought for a beat, then looked to Nia. Nia nodded assent. The group moved on, and along the way they saw plenty of folks either carrying gray rats on their backs or dragging handcarts, struggling to haul the rats toward the settlement center. Quick-witted types instantly spun up money-making ideas. Ox cart, 1 trip for 20 contribution points. Anyone need a hand? A rank 1 strength type ability user can carry 2 gray rats per run. Hire me for 5 contribution points. Selling wound salve, purely handmade, works well and is not pricey. Van Sam swept her gaze. The so-called ox cart was a golden bull battle pet pulling a wagon that could carry gray rats or people. The rank 1 strength type was simply selling muscle like a porter. The potion crafter seized the event to earn a tidy haul. She knew that not only did Hong Fong Clinic have people lining up daily to buy hemostatic salve and restoration pills, but other infirmaries in the settlement, even those run by player guilds, were jam-packed. Once wound cells entered the scramble, every shop sold out in a snap. After a moment's weighing, someone stopped before a crafter's stall to ask, "How many bottles of salve did you make in total? How effective is it?" "Guaranteed good, otherwise I wouldn't dare sell it." The crafter of course wouldn't admit to bragging and just sang its praises to the skies. The man tested a dab, nodded, "Decent effect, I'll take the lot." The crafter beamed, took the transfer of points, grinning from ear to ear, too over the top. Van Sam thought, she had seen the trial and the efficacy was plainly so-so, yet he still bought everything, clearly not treating contribution points like money. She was mulling this when Ta Fu Din approached, eyes full of approval for the buyer, as if praising his willingness to spend. Van Sam, a big spender indeed, this one was truly wealthy. Pocket change meant nothing to him. In fact, Van Sam strongly suspected the shortage fever around wound salves had everything to do with Ta Fu Din. He blitzbought with cash, cleaned out the market, and everyone else, panicked, piled in to chase. Acquaintances meeting still had to trade greetings. After small talk, Ta Fu Din's gaze latched onto the gray rats and would not budge. "Where did you get the pups? Why are their heads so small?" "First time I've seen that, just born," said Van Sam. "When they first hit the ground, gray rat pups were only half a fist, then after a full belly and a nap their heads puffed up like little balloons, so on the way, people were mostly carrying big bruisers, and a string of pups threaded on grass like Nia's was one of a kind." Ta Fu Din's eyes lit. "Selling? These aren't even mine." In Van Sam's mind, loot seized from NPCs in violation would surely be confiscated, but Lukeman glanced at her and stated, "They're all yours, Van Sam." "All right then, thanks sugar daddy." She looked at Ta Fu Din. "Selling? Still swapping gray rats for grain?" He was about to have his men bring the barter goods when Van Sam asked, "Besides grain, what else have you got?" Ta Fu Din smiled with easy confidence. "Contribution points, land, store use permits, gear, materials, medicines, herbs, manpower, flying-type beast hatchlings, whatever you want, I have it." As he spoke, a subordinate handed over a list enumerating every redeemable item and its rates. "You can even trade for manpower?" Van Sam's expression turned a touch odd. Having gone this big, Ta Fu Din no longer bothered to dodge, pointing at his aide, "Company secretary, in-game he keeps doing secretary work, handling errands for me. Bodyguards I hired, 7 and 10 are in-game office hours from morning to late afternoon, they follow my orders. Beyond my own staff, I've hired a fair few talented NPCs, if you need one, I can lend them." Hearing that, Van Sam fell silent for a while. Truth is, when she first came back to the game after the car crash, Hanjia Khan had mentioned there were people paying to hire players as workers, monthly salary on schedule, 8 hours a day waiting on command. It was just that, till now, she had never seen anyone burn money as ruthlessly as Ta Fu Din. Listen to that headcount, that asset spread, he must have torched a small fortune. Her thoughts wavered, and he casually added, "I joined early, formed a guild, 90% of members are my real-world employees, the rest are talents I recruited with high pay, even NPCs, Van Sam. Secretly opening a company in the game. Bold move, that was pushing the advantage of fiat to the limit. You're great at selling potions, so you can trade for a 3-month store permit. This little minigame is fussy as hell. I handed out gifts, farmed goodwill, burned tons of effort, and in total wrangled 3 storefronts. For days he had been taking grey rats from Van Sam on schedule, astonishing in both quantity and quality, hoping to make nice, hence the reminder about store permits. Unexpectedly, she shook her head. Store permits are useless to me, once her goods are crafted and posted. On the trading market, they vanish in seconds. No need for promotions or after-sales fuss. Renting a store to run it herself would be a hassle. Recalling how Incense of Tranquil Focus had gone viral, Tathu was at a loss for words. Only after a long beat did he sigh. For you, yeah, not needed. The Central District's shopping street was already built out, and plenty of players had resolved to buy or rent stores to light up their brands. Post goods to the market instead? The wares were a jumble and rivals too many. Breaking out was hard, but Van Sam had none of those worries. Her crafting yielded top-notch goods at friendly prices. Buying them was earning money, and fame came early. NPCs knew her name. Whenever she listed, NPCs swarmed to bid, stoking the market's heat. To her, store use rights were just garnish. So what do you want? He tossed the question back, seizing the rare chance. Van Sam was crisp. How many 3-star flying-type beast hatchlings do you have? Tathu, among any species, hatchlings were fiercely protected. Rank 1 or 2 were manageable due to numbers and low threat, but 3-star and up were another matter. See a hatchling taken and the parents might go berserk and fight above their tier. Compared to ground beasts, flyers were rarer still, because if they could not win, adults simply whisked their young away on speed. In short, snatching high-tier beast hatchlings was thankless work. Doubly so for flyers. Red Juan. Hatchlings, 3-star grade 5 in total, he said, conflicted. Those were meant to be his battle pets, to be raised with care for a chance at contracting. He had not even had time to build rapport before the rat-culling event forced him to part with them. Thinking of the registration code worth 10,000 contribution points, he steadied. If you want them, they're yours. I do, said Van Sam, then added a condition after a brief ponder. Besides Red Juan hatchlings, I want a batch of herbs. Granted, said Tathu, as long as the grey rats kept coming on schedule, everything else was negotiable. Do not be fooled by Van Sam being a solo without any known guild in rat hunting prowess. Many guilds could not compare. After nailing down the terms, he took his leave. Van Sam signaled Hunia to hand the strung rats to the secretary. Record them first. Once enough, we'll swap for Red Juan hatchlings. Okay, the secretary replied while entering the ledger. Luke Min had watched the whole transaction from the side, and only when it ended did he ask, why trade with him instead of going to the event steward for rewards? The rewards are rich, but not what I need, said Van Sam without overthinking. Those registration codes that made eyes go green, she had redeemed 10 before and did not plan to this time. The 4-star Odiao hatchling sounded nice but was priced sky-high. 3-star hatchlings were mostly runners on land, and she wanted something that flew. As for rations and herbs, those were not even on the exchange list, so she changed course to trade directly with players for exactly what she wanted. Reaching the goal was enough. Methods did not bother her, but Luke Min seemed to take it differently. On the road he walked with eyes down, silent, as if he had realized something. Van Sam had no idea what that was. At the exchange point, the event steward stood in his usual spot. Normally players and residents would queue to submit grey rats for contribution points, but now the line was short, only 3 players and 5 NPCs, while others clustered nearby whispering. Watching a bit, Van Sam found that whenever a player lugged grey rats over, someone would stop them for a chat and soon the beasts would be handed off, with the original catcher leaving beaming with gear, materials, or points. NPC residents did the same, only a scant few resisted the temptation and resolutely led their grey rats to the steward. Hunia glanced around and returned. Someone's buying grey rats. Would that count as exploiting a loophole? Before he could invent a reason, a flood of grey rats was being delivered into Tathudin's hands, and he himself queued up to submit them. Hunia, a coincidence, their recent acquaintance again. Luke Min stared at him, quickly estimating the kill rate, then turned away. Voice cool, let's go. Watching the scene, a smile glinted in Van Sam's eyes. In the previous life there was no rat-culling event and no registration code reward, and Tathudin fit the mold of an ordinary rich guy not doing anything special. In this life, the extermination method had changed, and under his lead the whole player base erupted with zeal. To players, the registration code mattered a lot. To Luke Min, a handful of codes could solve the rat plague, a bargain if there ever was. 1. No wonder he felt at ease leaving when he saw Tathuddin running the cull. The mysterious power of money, Van Sam murmured, strolling back to the manor to await the wolfhounds and the white Jewin bringing in their quarry. On the 11th of September, toward dusk on the 6th day of the rat-culling event, Tathuddin finally amassed 10,000 contribution points and redeemed one registration code. The leaderboard updated in real time. Registration code equals 10,000 contribution points, redeemable for 9 categories, and players who saw it went mad. This was a fiat whale miracle. At the same time, Tathuddin received the system prompt: you have obtained one registration code. Note 1, each registration code can only be used once. Note 2, please use within 7 days, after which eligibility expires automatically. The thing he wanted most had at last fallen into his hands, joy welling up as a radiant smile bloomed across his face. At dinner that night, when Tathuddin brought it up, Father Ta and Mother Ta both looked stunned. You managed to swap for a registration code? Tathuddin answered shyly. That's wonderful. Mother Ta beamed, joy spilling across her face. A year ago they had learned that virtual reality could have special therapeutic effects, and from then on she and her husband nursed a single obsession: get a registration code and enter the game. Old now, with money and time, they feared illness most, and since the two of them had once pushed themselves too hard when young, their bodies carried lingering flaws. They had planned to enter the game to recuperate properly, but the competition was fierce. For 8 straight months they staked out the drops every week on schedule, and not once did they snatch one. Later Mother Ta even wanted to give up. Even Father Ta said, we have the will, but we've never succeeded, this must be fate. Just then, Van Sam received a special reward, a set of 5 registration codes. The Ta family suddenly understood that aside from lurking and waiting there were other ways to obtain codes. Van Sam put them up for sale openly in the guild, making a big splash. By rights Tathuddin should have bought 2. But the timing was unlucky. Real life demanded urgent handling for 3 days, so he neither logged his info account nor entered the game, and when he came back online the codes were already gone. At first he was extremely vexed, then he thought, if Van Sam could wrangle them, he surely could too, since in any live game, as progress advances, rare items become easier to obtain. He convinced himself and waited with patience. Soon came the hunting event, and he swore to himself he would spare no cost to trade for 2 codes. Fortune proved kinder than expected. By the 6th day of the event he had already secured one. Who should use the new code? He asked. Mother Ta. Give it to your father. His rheumatism has flared lately. He says his leg hurts. Father Ta. Give it to your mother. Her lower back is strained and her cervical spine aches. These past few days she's been tossing sleepless. Tathuddin. What had he done wrong to sit here eating dog food? Either one works, he said mildly. There are still 9 days until the hunting event ends. Plenty of time to trade for another. After half a day of discussing, they decided Mother would use it first and Father would enter the game in the next round. When the talk ended, Father turned and asked seriously, to swap for a code, how much money did you throw in? Around 10 to 20 million? Tathuddin said uncertainly, I've been quietly buying points for a long while and purchasing in-game properties. This round I hired hands and posted large bounties to buy things up that burned nearly 10 million. Add the earlier spending and it won't exceed 30 million in total. Oh, then it's cheap. Father Ta relaxed. In the Kok Kim Game Forum, the scholar got 1 registration code. Thanks for the support. Still buying points, buying healing medicine, buying grey rats, loves money like life. Great, let's get to work. Country bumpkins. Even tycoons have tears. Look up to see the truly rich. Neil, big bro, can I ask how much that code cost? Tathuddin did not dissemble. The scholar, not much, roughly 20 million. Neil, guild master, get out here, you sold codes too cheap. At Van Sam was cooking and only saw it more than 10 minutes later. Van Sam, cheap? 3 million each nearly didn't sell. Codes are time limited. If no one uses them they expire into trash. Neil, right, that's the trouble with eating the first crab. The thing's too new. Folks don't know how good it really is. The more I think the scarier. The patron spent 20 million for 1 code. The guildmaster casually pulled out 5. Who on earth is the guildmaster, reincarnated? Luck Emperor? Van Sam thought, she's the kind of woman who can go out for a meal and end up hospitalized for more than a year. What, Luck Emperor? What does that have to do with her? But to avoid trouble she didn't clarify, only replied, Van Sam, it was tied to a quest chain. Once cleared, it's gone. Thus she explained the source of the reward and severed further requests to buy codes, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Guildmaster's luck is insane. Countless members sighed, sincerely envying her fortune, and Van Sam thought, today I'm forced to play Luck Emperor yet another day. NK Books. Though she had lived 2 lives and considered herself seasoned to big scenes, the moment she logged in today Van Sam was still stunned. Several ancient trees had appeared in the yard, nests on their crowns, and dozens of fledgling white badge and red badge 3-star chicks chirped PPP. She clutched Luke. What is going on? Luke indicated, the fledglings feel the feng shui here is good and the food is great, so they voluntarily moved. Van Sam, beside the trunks, gray rats were piled like a hill, as if a welcome gift waiting to be scrapped. She asked again, and what about this? Even if the wolf dogs hunted diligently, they couldn't have caught so many at once. Luke answered, picked up from people's homes, because they violated the rules by breeding gray rats, endangering the settlement's safety. Picked up from people's homes. Van Sam stared at the yard for a long time, speechless. So even in a post-apocalypse settlement, the power of money still works. The news that Tathu Din had bought his way to a code gave huge encouragement to pay-to-win players. It's only money, isn't it? Who doesn't have some? They poured cash in, planning to replicate his success, even if it took 3 to 5 tens of millions. As long as they could trade for a code it would be worth it, except 1 point equals 140 coins. The exchange rate isn't low, so why after a day? Have we only gathered a bit over 600 points? Shangvu barked at his aide. The aide lowered his head. We bid high, yes, but we have no network, don't know top players, nowhere to buy points. What about healing medicine? Why can't we buy it? Shangvu snapped. The aide, many shops are in exclusive cooperation with Tathu Din for the duration. He pays more and sweeps the codes to buy. The owners won't switch partners, and the gray rats? Too few hands, failed outreach. Beyond points, players and non-players alike want rice and grain, land, storefronts, gear, materials, herbs, and beast cubs. We have nothing. It's hard to persuade them to part with gray rats. Shangvu fell silent, suddenly realizing that money can't be spent just because you wish it. Tathu Din succeeded because he had prepared thoroughly. Thinking he could do the same was pure illusion. How is it? Lukeman asked while handling paperwork. According to the investigation, the gray rats, Hugh Nia had just stuck out his head when he was cut off. I'm asking about Van Sam. Hugh Nia, the divine physician says even the landlord's house has no extra grain. At most she can accept 90 white badge and red badge fledglings relocating, then give her 90, Lukeman ordered. After a moment with no response he had to ask, and the gray rats? She took them and traded for herbs. Hugh Nia replied slack-faced. When trading we reminded the other party repeatedly that the herbs weren't for her. She was only running errands and even refused a fee. Oh right, with the materials she traded she's crafting a new incense, said lighting it at bedtime calms the mind. Once it's done she'll send you some. Luke Min's face softened, brows easing, rare good mood blooming, which made Hugh Nia's molars ache. Any new findings on the rats? We suspect someone bred them and deliberately released them. Near the settlement, Luke Min's gaze chilled. What have you found? Hugh Nia reported in full. The meat is toxic, not like natural mutation, more like many generations fed poison, selected and cultivated by humans. Gray rats breed fast, mature even faster. They're perfect lab subjects. They appeared too suddenly, as if more than 2,000 popped out of thin air overnight. If it were a species relocating from an unsuitable habitat, there ought to be adaptation and reproduction phases. This time it's as if someone set up a field lab out in the wild, secretly bred them, and once numbers swelled beyond what the owner could feed, released them to free range so they'd forage on their own. The lands outside are vast and sparsely peopled. Even if you dump several thousand rats it's hard to notice at once. Who knew that off-world travelers would hunt gray rats, bring them into the settlement, and get seen by the divine physician? What else? Their tiers. The number of 3 stars hunted is far beyond normal. Normally wild beasts have their tier fixed at birth. Rare to break shackles and ascend. Gray rats are mostly 1 star, clearly low-tier beasts. By rights 3 stars should be vanishingly small, yet these past days 3 stars make up about 1 to 2%, and that's not counting any concealed stock. It's possible someone is continuing to breed high-quality lines, of course. Talk of a single leader commanding more than 1,000 gray rats sounds outrageous and frightening, but after spending every day at the manor surrounded by 1 to 200 2-star and 3-star beasts, I don't think it's impossible. The world is big. What if someone awakened a bizarre talent? Cold light flickered in Luke Min's eyes. Find out exactly who did it. Understood. Lately it's getting harder to see gray rats in the wild. After wandering along while with nothing to show, Wang Shuyan sighed. If we can't catch enough, we'll raise our own, Lu Jai said with grand ambition. Today we keep 1 female as breeding stock, tomorrow we harvest a whole litter, or the patrol catches us, then we not only surrender all beasts but also pay a fine. Not getting caught solves it. Some folks hide them well and don't get caught, then the dam births sand. Bites people to death. The patrol shows up just in time to collect the corpses. A shiver ran down Vang Shuyan's spine. That's because they were sloppy. Lay it out right and you'll have a bumper crop of gray rats. Lay it out how? Make wooden cages? Dig birthing dens? Before his partner could answer, he went on, don't even think it, others tried already. Beasts have hardy bodies and strong teeth. Lock them in wood and they'll chew through and bolt. Dig a den to wait for the dam to birth so you can wipe the nest. But the pups are nimble and cling to the sides to crawl out. Some even used doorstone to build a jail, and a full-grown 2-star gray rat still couldn't escape. But how many dams must you catch and how many litters must they throw to earn back the oarstone cost? Finally he concluded, stop chasing dreams of something for nothing. That's not a shortcut to riches but a fast lane to death. What if we catch a dam and don't raise her inside the settlement, but keep her in the wild? Lu Jai's eyes gleamed. After birth a dam needs 2 to 3 days to recuperate and usually won't move dens. We call in teammates and visit once a day. The instant she finishes littering we strike. With that many people traipsing the wild daily, what if others spot us? Can't we just hunt beasts honestly? Why must we juggle tricks? If we juggle well, the returns multiply many times over. That's a huge profit and worth the try. In the end Vang Shuyan was persuaded and agreed to help. There are gray rats here, folks, come quick. The wilds rang with gleeful shouts, people calling friends to grind monsters for points, momentum blazing yet tinged with a faint warmth. Duong Thunan's face twisted. No, this isn't how it should be. Gray rats are vicious, breed like mad, give no benefit when killed. Everyone ought to hate them, not cheer the moment they show up and swarm in to club them down. Too strange, how did it become like this? A nameless agitation pressed on his chest. With this unusual rat-slaying fervor, days have passed and the gray rat count hasn't grown at all. It's actually dwindling. That's bad. Hurrying through the trees, he faintly heard whispers. I heard someone's raising mother rats in a burrow. They're about to have pups. Books. Why don't we strike while he's not online and lift the nest first? Another voice, delighted. Yeah, everyone together, we'll split the spoils. Duong Thunan jolted. He had been so careful. How were they discovered? His pupils brimmed with disbelief. In the next breath, a hunting squad of about 20 headed for the burrow. It was one of his secret bases, used to raise 3-star gray rats. Several big-bellied mothers about to drop, eyes flashing cold. He ghosted after them, planning to command the rats and wipe the intruders in one go. Who knew? Why are there so many gray rats? A huge haul of contribution points. Don't freeze up, call more people. We're rich. Staring at more than 23-star gray rats in the hole and over 100 2-stars, their eyes went green. Don't be fooled by the numbers. Many were heavy with young and clumsy. The nimble ones were the 2-stars, lower tier. You can't clear them in a snap, but drag it out and you can. Just as Duong Thunan edged closer, a stampede of footsteps sounded from afar. His heart tightened and he slipped away. Heard there are tons of gray rats? Where? My contribution points. That's all money. Thanks to some unknown buff tied to riches, over 20 newcomers burned hot, wave after wave plunging at the rats, unleashing a lopsided massacre. Watching swaths of 3-stars drop, Duong Thunan's heart bled, but the enemy were many and his rats couldn't hold. He wasn't about to die here. Face dark, he faded from the cave, dapples of leaf shadow masking half his features, and he ground out, I won't let this go. On the 11th day of the event, the gray rat population shrank to a certain threshold. Hunting grew harder by the day. If the gray rats get wiped out, will the hunting event end early? With a threat of worry, Ta Thu Din went even more frantic, stacking cash, vowing to hit 10,000 contribution points before the event closed. Van Sam finally finished her incense cones and brought them to Luke Min. I made a fresh batch of calming incense. Try it and see if it works for you. The cones, shaped like tiny pagodas, each a bit larger than a melon seed, were set into the censer and could burn for about 20 to 30 minutes. Cones suit sleep time, sachets for daily carry, and once she developed other calming products they could be rotated. Van Sam reasoned that one formula overused breeds resistance, so with multiple variants she should cure Luke Min before the whole group grew tolerant. Luke Min told Hu Nia to light one and test. As the pale smoke curled and a gentle fragrance drifted through the room, an unprecedented peace spread through him. The divine physician is thoughtful. Feels good, she asked. He nodded. Good. She ventured, may I ask a reward? Luke Min's eyes opened the thinnest smile. Even without calming incense, if you want anything, tell Luke or Hu Nia, they'll see it done. Van Sam said earnestly, I need kitchen help. Lately nearly 100 red badge beasts had moved house. Chef Man and Tan Van were swamped. the kitchen urgently needed extra hands. Luke Min glanced at Hunia, who took the cue. I'll arrange it, done before tomorrow morning. Anything else? No, I have what I need. Good, he said, returning to his work. Van Sam watched him and thought, this lifetime the grey rats are under control, plague prevention is in place, it shouldn't get out of hand. His lucid stretches have been lengthening, everything trending well, good. A little past 7 that evening, Van Sam logged off. The system prompted, today's accumulated online duration, 480 minutes, 8 hours, the daily cap has been reached. For your health, logging in again is forbidden today. Please balance work and rest, and play in moderation. At about 7:25, she boiled pork and napa dumplings and ate while refreshing the guild chat. The skins were thin and the filling generous, one bite and savory broth pressed against the lips. In chat, several friends were talking, good fella, only on day 11 of the event did I realize that besides grey rats in the wild, some places are hiding mini dungeons. Just connected in the village, mini dungeons? What does that mean? Why do I not get it? Soul question? Are we playing the same game? Good fella, caves and earthen tunnels and such, some are grey rat warrens stuffed with mobs, a dozen to nearly 23 stars and over 100 2-stars, clear the instance and haul the rat corpses to trade for points, in one go you can snag 8 to 900 contribution. Eating happily, Van Sam froze. Last life she never heard of any mini dungeons, and this isn't the sort of MMO that sets up fixed spawn points, unless the rat lairs are man-made, someone behind the scenes is farming at scale. She set down her chopsticks and typed, when did you find mini dungeons? How did I miss this? Good fella, found one yesterday, another today, the lucky crowd is raking it in. Good fella, I remember after clearing the first one someone spammed in excitement, didn't the clan leader see it? Van Sam, speechless when messages hit 999 and beyond in a day, who can read it all, and she missed a critical update. The more she recalled from the last life, the less right it felt. She wanted to jump in and warn Luke Min, but today's cap was hard, she'd have to wait till tomorrow. Van Sam, anyone not capped today? Please pass a message to an NPC for me, big reward. At all she fired that 3 times and got back, what a pity, I'd help, but my time's used up. Take a guess, whoever isn't capped is probably still in game and won't see chat. Curious, clan leader, what's going on? Can't you just log in tomorrow, why pay big to ask for help? Counting on fingers, did the leader hit a fortuitous event? Quest chain, maybe a registration code or something? Van Sam thought she had indeed triggered a vital quest, but not the rewarding kind. This was about whether the game could be restored to normal. Dread mounting, she typed again, heedless. Van Sam, 3-star cubs, 4-star mentors, and territory privileges, I can arrange them all. Anyone willing to help? Holy crap! What did I just witness? Country bumpkin eyes. So the leader is actually a hidden monster? What we usually see is just the tip of the iceberg? Daylight knows not night, scream all you want, my cap's full too, I'm crying. Messages poured like rain yet none could help, and her nerves only tightened. After a beat, she set an alarm to rise at midnight and log in. That done, she finished dinner and lay down. Day 12 of the event, the bell rang at just past midnight. Van Sam sprang up, donned her VR helmet groggily, yawning as she connected. Long-term steady play had clearly reshaped her stamina. 10 seconds later she was fully awake, spirit bright, as if she could run and fight for 24 hours. But the moment she returned to the manor, she found the camp ablaze with light and noise. Luke Min, Hunia, and Luke were absent. Books. The magical beasts paced in restless anxiety, plainly unusual. Luckily the tenant NPCs weren't asleep, so she grabbed one. What happened? Ha? At this hour, how are you? I asked a question. Answer. Her tone went cold. The NPC trembled and said, many people spiked fevers and coughed blood. They were taken to the clinic. Lord Hunia says it may be the rat plague. Only the rat plague? She steadied herself and asked, besides that, what else? The NPC blinked, nothing else, I haven't heard of anything. Wake everyone still at the manor and rally them to assist me. She gave the order. Though baffled, the NPC rushed off to call people. Van Sam worked her black wristwatch and pushed messages to Luke Min and the others. As soon as they were sent, the gathered hands arrived. With me, she said, lifting a hand and sweeping the crowd into urgent work. Luke Min's eyes were glacial, a storm brewing deep beneath. How is it outside? Hugh Nia reported, so far over 300 infected and rising, 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star alike. The physicians are debating treatment plans, but progress isn't encouraging and we don't know when results will come. Tatin added, rat plague is highly contagious, we've isolated the patients. During exams, doctors fully suited up to avoid infection. The strange part is this: after hunts the guard squad burns the grey rat corpses immediately. By rights there shouldn't be large-scale spread, much less a sudden explosion. Luke Min laughed coldly, rats are the scourge, but people are the disaster. The enemy can of course cheat in the dark and seed infection among many residents. Rage surged, killing intent sharp. What now? Hugh Nia asked, at a loss. Where's head physician man? In a designated epidemic zone seeing patients, rumor says he clashed with doctors from other clinics and nearly came to blows. No matter the obstacles, we save our people, Luke Min said, a beat at each word. Tell them to try freely. Hong Fong Clinic will supply all the herbs. Understood. Tatin had just turned to relay the order when the long-mute black watch on Luke Min's wrist began to beep tick tick tick. A breath later, Hugh Nia's watch chimed too, and he cried out in joy, the divine physician is at the manor. She says she has formulas to treat and prevent rat plague and urgently needs hands to decoct medicine. She was back. The instant the message arrived, a deep calm settled over Luke Min. The rampaging fury and clamor inside him ebbed by more than half. Take enough people to the manor, follow her lead, cooperate fully. Yes. Hugh Nia's voice rang, confidence renewed. Ta-tin. Here. Increase patrols. Tonight, something may happen. Reading Van Sam's warning, a premonition tugged at Luke Min. The mastermind had lost patience and would move very soon. Hugh Nia brought people, herbs, and tools to the manor. Night had fallen, torches blazed, dozens of medicine cauldrons boiled, everyone bustled about. You're here? Van Sam seized a free moment to greet him. How should we do this? Just say the word, Hugh Nia said solemnly. 2 skilled hands will compound with me, the others take the sachets to empty ground and simmer the decoction. Keep a squad of experts dedicated to delivering medicine to the sick, Van Sam ordered, then clapped. Before working, come drink a cup to ward off infection. In short order all were assigned. Can this really prevent the rat plague? Someone, fearful, dared not drink. Hugh Nia flicked a palm to the fellow's forehead. Her name is Van Sam, a divine physician. Though the effect was unproven, his trust in her was whole. Van Sam? Why so familiar? A man pondered. A companion whispered. The fine purple grass salve at Hong Fong Clinic was her improved recipe, and that trance incense the trademark had fought over, only she can make it. Thinking thus, it felt reasonable. Where others were helpless, she could cure. Drink, if sick then heal, if not then strengthen. A few organizers urged their mates to drink, then followed orders into motion. In the quarantine zone, Director Man of Hong Fong and Director Lam of Diu Hall clashed fiercely, nearly coming to blows. Said it how many times already? The rat plague surges, the illness is perilous, we must use heavy doses to cure. Lam blustered. Do not be fooled that Director Man was a woman. Her presence was formidable. She sneered. You know the disease is fierce and the body weakened. Pour in a heavy dose and will they live? In my view, reduce the dose and treat steadily. Steadily? Look how many people there are. Does Hong Fong have enough stock? If we fail and let the illness spread, can you bear that? Lam glared. And you? 1 heavy dose in one go, is that saving or killing? Or, Mana's lip curled, fail to cure and cremate directly to eliminate the virus at the root, is that your goal? Slander. Lam cursed, stung. He risked life at the front line to save patients. How could he be accused of scheming? Enough, other doctors pulled them apart. We all want to save people, discuss it properly. With her, no way, Lam huffed. The house is on fire and she says go slow. How to rest easy? It is not slow, at most 3 days to see results. Man said gravely, 1 dose for life and 1 for death is too risky. I will not joke with lives. 3 days? Lam sneered. The severe cases cannot wait. Then stratify. Man adjusted. For severe cases, ask consent. Those who wish to try heavy dosing may try. Those who refuse intravenous decoction we will find other ways. Mild cases stay conservative. No need to risk. That sounded reasonable. Lam's face eased. He was about to answer when a team of guards in protective suits rushed up with a wooden tub, shouting, medicine, medicine. Man stopped them, frowning. What medicine? A formula from Van Sam, everyone simmering it together, says it can treat the rat plague, the guard said, elated. Somehow, whenever the name Van Sam appeared, confidence multiplied, as if holding a panacea. At that, man relaxed a little but still asked, any side effects? Not heard of, maybe feel a bit drowsy and sleep, the guard guessed. Man was speechless, then stepped aside. Go deliver it. They hurried on, several doctors quietly following. A severe patient there burned with fever, joints aching, face ashen as if ready to pass at any moment. Lift him and give the dose, Lamb said, helping. A brimming cup was dipped from the tub and offered. The patient panted, laboring to swallow mouthful after mouthful. How is it? Any better? Another doctor asked. Seems less painful. Yes, the patient murmured, then shut his eyes, tipped his head, and slept. The doctors traded looks. Lamb carefully examined again, then, expression complex, announced, the fever is falling. Fever came from the rat plague, and its fall meant improvement. The decoction works. Man, his brows loosened, a smile in her eyes, worthy of Van Sam. She and Lamb had argued because they chose differently, one bold, seeking swift control, one conservative, seeking to save more lives. But Van Sam's simmered decoction had strong efficacy with little risk, tending both aims and outshining them both. Man even wondered why they had strained themselves hoarse, set shifts and rest in turns. If any patient worsens, wake us to use healing abilities, she said. Earlier they had not used powers because needs were too many and energy nearly drained. Now they could breathe. After a short pause she added, Director Lamb is older, cannot keep grinding, go rest first. They had argued from conviction, but once a better plan appeared, they cast grudges aside and worked together. Lamb snorted ambiguously and went to the rest area. Cauldrons brewed one after another, stores of firewood nearly exhausted, and Hugh Nia again rallied supplies and arranged hands, spinning like a top. Fortune favored them. The situation steadied at last. News came that patients were recovering and new cases dwindling. Divine Doctor, this time we owe much to your formula, Hugh Nia thanked from the heart. Van Sam paused and looked afar. It is not over yet. Hugh Nia had not reacted when, to the south of camp, a giant gray rat, head as tall as 4 meters, appeared with eyes scarlet and feral. Its tail lashed and a building collapsed with a crash. What is that? He gasped. The Black Alert Watch then went mad with ticking, glancing at messages. They largely agreed. Gray rat packs had infiltrated the camp and were striking residents everywhere. So in chaos, go save people, Van Sam urged. Understood. Hugh Nia obeyed at once, leading the team to rescue. After some distance a teammate muttered, wait, if we all go, what about the Divine Doctor? At that, ice climbed Hugh Nia's back. He sprinted back, roaring, return at once. After Hugh Nia led the squad away, Van Sam stayed in the courtyard supervising the brew. A strange man's voice sounded, heard you can treat the rat plague, thought you had skill. Turns out you are a fool, your own life is shaky and you sent your guards out to rescue others. Van Sam looked up, a system-generated figure stood before her, a black name above his head, Duong Thunan. Around him, over 100 3-star gray rats glared, ready to devour. Accidents happen, Van Sam said coolly. For example, you, spreading the plague to sneak attack the camp. After waiting half a day with no chance, the plague got controlled instead. Duong Thunan's face went green and white. She was right, he had poisoned the water source, planning to wait for the spread, the sick to worsen, the camp to fall into disorder, then lead a grey rat army to strike. But from the start things misfired. Patients were swiftly sent to the quarantine zone and separated. What he thought hard to cure got countered within several hours. Grey rats making trouble were hunted down by patrols as soon as they showed. In short, disaster for him. He thought to withdraw yet could not swallow the loss, so he released a 4-star grey rat to cause trouble in camp and, himself tracking the guards, slipped into the manor to see who had bested him only to be speechless at once, casually sending the guards away. That intelligence? He swept his gaze and saw a few 2-star wolfhounds in the yard, defenses seemingly thin, and his intent stirred. As the thought rose, the pack of 3-star grey rats swarmed toward Van Sam like a hive, as if to tear her apart in the next heartbeat. Divine Doctor, a cry rang out. At the same moment, Van Sam commanded calmly, everyone fall back. At her word, dozens of wolfhounds flashed forward to shield her and, at the same time, completed an encirclement that cut off Duong Thunan's retreat. Lunatic, he had never expected that after planning to kill and run, he would be trapped here with his own rats. Dozens of 2-star wolfhounds had actively challenged over 100 3-star grey rats. Was she serious? The melee erupted. Grey rats had the advantage of fecundity, their bodies not that strong but ranked 3-star. Wolfhounds were hunters, quick of motion, yet only 2-star and still juvenile. As the struggle held even, Duong Thunan was about to summon the nearby 2-star rats to reinforce when the sky filled with the beating of wings. He looked up to see nearly 100 pre-class beasts that preyed on rats circling above. Now and then one stooped to inflict grievous wounds. Such flyers already took rats as food, and with the rats entangled by wolfhounds, their movements slowed further. Retreat, retreat now. With the desperate cover of over 20 3-star rats, he fought while falling back. Unexpectedly, a 2-star wolfhound, fighting to a fever pitch, threw back its head and howled. In a blink, its body doubled, coat fuller, overall rank surging to 3-star, a beast advancing a tier. Cold sweat purled on his brow. Before he could flee, howls rolled one after another. In an instant more than 60 3-star wolfhounds ringed him round, and he looked small, pitiful, and powerless. Surprised, delighted? Van Sam drawled, "Did you not say accidents happen? If I had not sent people away, how would I have hooked such a big fish as you?" That he bit so easily was itself unexpected, and though she had set the bait, even she had not foreseen how smoothly it would take. Duong Thunan never imagined he would end up this wretched. Going from 1 star to 2, from 2 to 3 was still manageable if you stocked enough energy, but from 3 to 4 was a different world. You needed insight, potential, and a stroke of fortune. Miss one and it failed. He had thought that by luring the experts away with a 4-star gray rat and leading more than 100 3-star adult gray rats, no matter where he went or whom he faced, he could still fight a battle. But he ran into Van Sam. Even the absurd sight of dozens of beasts leveling up together right before his eyes happened, truly like cheating. As groans rose, gray rats fell one after another, their momentum visibly ebbing. Duong Thunan tried to retreat, but the wolf dogs bared fangs and blocked the way with the air of "run and we bite your leg off." Clearly the initiative had been his at the start. How had it come to this? He could not figure it out. After a long silence he chose to negotiate. "Let me go, or do not blame me for being rude." Van Sam looked back as if to say, "You are joking." He pressed on, "I am serious. Make the wolf dogs fall back." Then coldly, "I will count to 3, if they still do not move." Van Sam could not be bothered to argue. She signaled Big Black, and the next second Big Black clamped his teeth into Duong Thunan's shin to shock him awake. The talk collapsed. Madness flickered in Duong Thunan's eyes. "With a trace of venom, you forced me," and at that, the more than 30 remaining gray rats changed at once, eyes blood-red and vicious, wholly unlike before. A wolf dog bit a rat's belly, and the rat, as if numb to pain, tore back. Another wolf dog sprang in and snapped its neck. The rat twitched a few times and went still. 5 more gray rats in concert toppled a 3-star wolf dog and set their teeth to maul it. Lucky nearby companions reacted in time. 8 rushed in to save and counterattack and only then pulled the bitten wolf dog out. "Is this a frenzy?" Van Sam frowned. Right then a 3-star gray rat locked onto her and charged like mad to bite. She stepped back several paces yet did not panic, and sure enough at the last instant its eyes showed a flicker of confusion, as if unsure what it was doing. Duong Thunan jolted. "Why is this happening?" Before he could grasp it, the 4-star white tiger cub pounced out and killed the rat. The adult white hawk of 3 stars circled low to guard Van Sam. Even a few red rank cubs clustered around her, chirping "pie pie pie," looking super
NK
fierce.
Books.
By contrast, Duong Thunan was turned on by his own frenzied gray rats, which did not even recognize him. One bit his arm, one bit his neck, and in a few seconds they tore him to death. The upheaval was too sudden for the others to react. Seeing him fall into a pool of blood, Van Sam spoke a single word: "Kill," and with the order given the extermination of the gray rats sped up. Within a few minutes the 3-star pack was wiped clean. The Hugh Nia squad that arrived late were left speechless. One member whispered, "No wonder the divine healer sent us to rescue people. This place truly does not need us." Hugh Nia watched 2 and 3-star wolf dogs swiftly sweep the field and pile gray rats into mounds, and for the first time felt that having many beasts at home was actually very safe. The black watch ticked busily. Tutin skimmed the messages and said, "The handler who used the rat horde is dead. Hugh Nia has men washing down the rats. It will be under control soon." Luke Min looked to the distance, mild. "If the 4-star gray rat lives, the rat trouble never ends." Totten hurried to dissuade. Luke and Chu Hong together, "Give them some time and they will kill that beast. You truly need not act yourself," Luke Min said evenly. "A frenzied gray rat bursts near 5-star power. They cannot win." Right now Luke and Chu Hong were laced with wounds, blood streaming, able to faint any moment. They were both only 4 stars and others joining would be worse. "Have them pull back," said Luke Min, "to kill the enemy. I alone am enough, my lord. If you go your illness will worsen," Tutin pleaded, but Luke Min strode off without looking back. "If I go, my illness worsens. If I do not, many will die." Knowing he could not stop him, Tutin blasted messages to Hugh Nia and prayed the divine healer would arrive in time. In the manner, they boiled medicine and cleaned the field in a rush. Hugh Nia eyed dozens of cauldrons, packaging doses off the outgoing ledger. a light of realization flashing in his gaze. He sidled up to ask Van Sam, "Did you already know the rat plague was man-made and bound to break out?" Van Sam shook her head. No, in her prior life the common saying was that too many grey rat corpses piled up too long and triggered the plague, an accident rather than human intent. Whether the culprit was never caught or someone hid the truth to avoid shaking morale was unclear. "So how did you know he would come here?" he asked. "I guess," said Van Sam, "if he wanted the camp in chaos, he would likely wreck the manor so the sick had no medicine to drink. Why stock herbs beforehand?" "To be prepared," she said. "Herbs do not rot quickly, and since there was a chance, she stashed a batch. Who knew it would pay off at once?" She was surprised too. "I heard someone found a grey rat nest in the wild with hundreds of 2- and 3-star rats. I figured someone was raising them to cause trouble and came to check. I did not expect the camp to actually get hit. Had she not been online before dawn, how chaotic would the camp have become?" She dared not think further and only felt lucky. The guild chat had pinged last night. After the explanation, Hunia muttered that it looked accidental, yet loop after loop explained away as coincidence felt forced. Whatever, she was a friend not a foe. A good outcome was what mattered. Thinking so, he thanked her solemnly. "With your help it ended smoothly. I will report to the Lord and have you well praised." Before he finished, the Black Watch shrilled non-stop. He glanced apologetically and she said, "Go handle it first." He lowered his head to read and turned ashen. "The Lord is in danger." The border of the camp was a field of ruins. Not far from the wilds a huge 4-star grey rat lay sprawled lifeless. Lukeman, hair like ink and face like jade, had fine blood specks on skin and clothes yet not a wound on his body. He brushed his thumb across his cheek, smearing a red halo, eyes filled with cold cruelty. Seeing this, Chu Hong said icily, "Fighting a 4-star beast is kinder than this." He himself was 4 stars, his golden-winged eagle was 4, Luke was 4, the vine was 4. Risking all would not guarantee defeat and at least gave some chance. Luke frowned. "Stop thinking of sacrificing yourself to perish together with a beast. This life was saved by the Lord." "What about his?" Chu Hong said flatly. Luke snorted. "He is your superior, do not act on your own." As the tension rose, Tatin cut in. "Enough." The Lord dragged the rat into the wilds to avoid losing control inside the camp. The divine healer is on the way and told us to buy time. We must hold until she arrives. Where are the chains?" Luke asked. Tatin pulled out 4 thick custom iron chains, prepared. Last time the chain snapped, he had rushed a new set from the best material, but the Lord's condition had been stable so they were unused. Luke warned gravely, "Whether attacking or being hit will trigger the Lord's bloodlust. Remember, the key is to stall for time until the healer comes." Chu Hong glanced aside and grunted. Seeing Luke, men turned toward the camp. Tatin, Luke, and Chu Hong hefted chains and charged fearlessly. When Van Sam arrived, Chu Hong, the golden-winged eagle, and Tatin were sprawled coughing blood. Luke had been flung who knows where. Only the vine still bound Lukeman's legs. She drew a breath, snapped the iron around his wrists to lock his arms and block his strike. "Savior's here!" Hunia shouted while practically doing his own cheering. Lukeman eyed the iron locks with disgust and was about to break them when Van Sam hugged him tight, folding his arms to keep him from mustering strength. "Let go," he said. "No," she said, squeezing tighter. "Let go," he repeated, his voice uncharacteristically rough. She ignored him, plopped to the ground and even tried to tug him down. Face dark, he sat, looking fearsome. "For you." Van Sam shoved a fresh medicine sachet into his hand and, hands and feet together, clung on and would not release. As it turned out, she was more effective than custom chains. Lukeman's resistance ebbed. Now he inhaled the herbs, now her scent, and the cold dark miasma around him thinned. I knew calling the healer was right," Hunia exulted, while Tatin turned his face away on instinct. The scene was too dazzling. When the first light of morning rose, Lukeman slept peacefully. The grey rats stirring chaos around the camp had been destroyed, and the rat plague was close to its end. Van Sam stepped into the yard to check the decoctions and met a line of wolf dogs trotting back with 1- and 2-star grey rats in their jaws. "What is this?" she asked. Hunia said, "To prevent the plague from spreading again, I ordered men to bring beasts to the villages." The wolf dogs seemed to understand and went to help. Van Sam thought, so they were bringing the outside grey rats home. No wonder her wolves were so smart and so adorable. Not only wolf dogs, the red rank cubs are hauling too. "The beasts you raise are practically spirits." Hunia sighed. Van Sam stroked a dog's head, smiling bright. "We have been busy all night. Eat something." With so many people in the yard, feeding them was a major operation. Hunia meant to decline politely, but Chef Man pushed a food cart in first, a wooden tub of porridge steaming fragrant and soothing to the stomach, pickled mustard greens vivid in color and crisp on the bite. He praised them fresh and tasty after 2 quick sticks, and there were fermented tofu, beef sauce, pork floss, and corn cakes that all looked delicious. He could only laugh and say, "Then we will eat a little and get back to work." Early this morning, Tafudin logged in as usual, planning to increase his bounty quota and take a quick round, but unexpectedly,
NK
the
Books.
secretary reported, last night, the rat horde rioted and attacked the Hong Fong base. Tafudin was startled. Seeing the ruins nearby, his first reaction was, how many players were online last night? They were inside the base. Did the small monsters take the initiative to attack? At that, his spirit lifted. After all, hunting beasts wasn't hard for killing, but for tracking and finding them. The gray rats assaulting the base were practically offering contribution points on a silver platter. They came to us first, the secretary said. Good news is, the Night Cat gang got quite a haul. This morning many of them reached out to trade. Buy everything, said Tafudin decisively. Price doesn't matter. Understood, the secretary nodded, then added, bad news is, our people keep a 9-to-5 schedule, so they missed this overnight boom. After the rat raid, wild numbers dropped sharply, only a few left. Tafudin realized, so we'll have to spend big to fill the gap in contribution points? 4 days left in the event, but it'll be tough to hunt prey in the wild now. The secretary confirmed, exactly. A shadow crossed Tafudin's eyes. One night's sleep, and the world had changed like thunder in a clear sky. Also, the secretary continued, last night was chaos. Some logged off to avoid losing qualification, others trusted their strength and stayed. Many of those died, only a handful survived. So prices might skyrocket next, and we may clash with other factions fighting over gray rats. Tafudin fell silent. After a long pause he said, it's still early, not many are online yet, let's act first. Remember, money is no issue, I want that registration code. He had 7,000 contribution points, 3,000 short, still within reach. Got it, the secretary said seriously. The porridge and pickles were especially appetizing. Van Sam ate 2 bowls, feeling her stamina bar fill up, then logged off, tossing the remaining work to Hunia. Back in reality, she removed the VR headset, still hungry. She opened a bag of cheese-stuffed toast, then another of black glutinous rice toast. The bread was soft and chewy, the inside dense and delicate. One bite rich wheat flavor mixed with creamy milk aroma. The black rice filling was tender and mildly sweet, a different kind of delight. 2 breakfasts, 1 more dose of calories, haha. While chewing, she thought, for dieters who love to eat, Apocalypse Base was truly a blessing. After breakfast she took a nap. By noon, she got up and logged back in. The air around the herb garden was thick with medicine scent, pots of decoction bubbling and being carried to the infirmary. She walked toward the bamboo house to check on Luke Min. On the way, she met Luke. Luke, the Lord is awake, he said calmly. He's inside discussing something important with Hunia. How's his injury, she asked. He'll live, Luke replied dryly. Not dead yet, so all good. Van Sam, truly worthy of being 666. I'll take a look, she said, uneasy until she saw him herself. Fine, Luke followed along. When they arrived, Hunia was reporting, Duong Funan is dead. We found a notebook on him, it basically explains everything. Hearing someone outside, Luke Min looked up, come in. Doctor, Hunia greeted politely. I came to check the patient, said Van Sam. Hope I'm not interrupting? Not at all, said Hunia, the Lord's health comes first, the rest can wait. You came just in time, said Luke Min. Listen with us. Van Sam was surprised. So they didn't even plan to hide this secret? You caught the man, and the notebook came from the corpse. You should know what the rat plague was about, Hunia explained. All right, go on, said Van Sam, genuinely curious. The breeder's name was Duong Funan. He used to be a laborer. Cruel, twisted, vengeful. His diary says he fought with co-workers because they mocked him for lacking talent. At first, it was minor, but later, even a passing glance felt to him like contempt. Van Sam thought, that man must have a long list of enemies, most imaginary. Normally someone like that wouldn't stir up trouble, but a year ago, he awakened a talent called Commander. Not sure what it does exactly, but judging from events, it lets him command beasts. By chance, while gathering herbs, he fell off a cliff and found 5 injured adult grey rats, all 1-star rank. They'd fled into our base's range by accident. He used his talent to tame them and began breeding like mad to take revenge on those who'd scorned him. I think that's not what revenge means, Luke muttered. Hunia rolled his eyes and continued, during breeding, he accidentally formed a contract with a 2-star female rat. He kept using them as test subjects. Generations of selection made them fiercer, but still battle beasts, and with his talent, he kept control. Short on money, he started small so no one noticed. Once he had enough stock, he released some into the wild. The hunting teams tangled with grey rats, killed them, and brought them back. That's when you saw them. Crazy as he was smart. He used rat serum and 1-2- and even 4-star beasts to divert attention. The low ranks caused chaos because he couldn't control too many. But leading hundreds of 3-star beasts gave stronger combat power and easier command. He didn't use 4 stars because higher beasts were too violent. He noticed one glaring at him like it might devour him any moment. Last night, while patrols were culling rats, he led beasts to attack some residential areas, likely the enemies from his notebook. To amplify their power, he learned mental type skills. They boost potential but cause berserk loss of control. If not for you, Doctor, he'd have taken revenge and fled by now. Van Sam finally understood why no one revealed the truth in her previous life. If people knew a lunatic could almost destroy the base, morale would collapse. Actually, the attack wasn't supposed to happen last night, Hunia said. Coincidence. Someone else was breeding a female rat illegally and got fined, so they moved it outside to a cave. Others tried to steal it and accidentally stumbled into his lab. NK Books. They wrecked it completely. He sighed. What a farce. Anyway, Duong Thunan snapped, hated the residents, and attacked Hong Fong base. Add more troops, said Luke Min. Wipe out any surviving grey rats outside, and wrap up the event. Yes, Hunia nodded. Now, Doctor, your turn. While she examined him, Hunia marveled, never seen such skill. Over 100 2-star wolf dogs surrounded Duong Thunan and leveled up to 3 stars right in front of him. Truly divine, how did you do it? Strange talent, she said lightly. I just feed them snacks sometimes. They decide on their own. Ah, I see, said Hunia, actually believing her. But because he looked so earnest, she added, I developed pills that purify impurities and strengthen beasts for evolution. The wolf dogs had trained long and hit their peak. Perfect timing for a group upgrade. He'd truly believed those beasts leveled themselves up. She coughed, trade secret, I tend to keep things hidden. She's right, said Luke Min, nodding in approval. Hunia thought he'd never seen such blatant favoritism. Meanwhile, Ta Fu Din had his own troubles. Those who still had grey rats either priced them absurdly or played hard to get. Deals stalled. Though he didn't mind spending, he hated being treated like an idiot, so contribution points hit 8,000 and froze. Nearby, the secretary was still arguing. Boss, your offer has no sincerity, one player said. Add more and I'll sell. A 2-star rat trades for 20 points officially. We offer 100. Not sincere? Times changed, said the player confidently. Everyone knows you're buying rats for the registration code. Only a few of us have them, risked our lives last night. Price should rise. 400 points a rat. The secretary was speechless. Before we cooperated happily, the player went on, otherwise I'd sell elsewhere, many buyers around. The secretary didn't believe anyone would pay that high, sure they were bluffing. But since the boss was determined to get the code, he couldn't just walk away, so the haggling dragged on. Eventually the player said, 300. Final offer, or I sell elsewhere. Before the secretary could answer, Ta Fu Din said, then sell elsewhere. The player froze. The secretary stared. Did that mean no registration code? Stop wasting time, come with me, said Tothyudin, striding off. The secretary followed, secretly pleased. Then go make your fortune, he told the player, leaving without a glance. The player stood stunned, then yelled, wait. We can talk. 100. Deal. But they were long gone. Though walking away felt great, there was still the issue. What about the registration code? The secretary asked. Van Sam messaged, Tothyudin replied, her manners full of grey rats, 2 and 3 stars. Asked if I wanted them. Full? Enough to make up the deficit and get the code. Excellent, said the secretary, relieved. They rushed to the manor. Beyond the bamboo fence, piles of grey rats like small hills. Tothyudin tapped his black wristwatch to connect with Van Sam. Rats for trade only, not sale, she said. Here's a list. See what you can exchange, if not, I'll find someone else. Where do I rank? First, she said cheerfully. If you take them all, that saves me a lot. Knowing he was eager, she gave him priority. He read the list: grain, herbs, land, all in large amounts. Prices were triple before, enough to make most wince, but for him, still worth it if it guaranteed the code. Give me some time, I'll gather it all, he said solemnly. How long? By dusk today. No time to risk mishaps. Fine, said Van Sam. Notify me when ready. We'll trade online then. Why? My online time's almost maxed today, saving the rest. Ah. Too sleepy to play, she browsed the community. A headline popped up, breaking news, last night not only rats attacked, but also wolves and eagles. Posts flooded in. Scared me half to death. I saw the wolves myself. Stayed up killing rats, sold them this morning, made a fortune. Got up early to grind and missed everything. Unfair. Friends spam called me at dawn to log in. True brothers bring you to profit. No rats outside now. I think last night was the peak. Events over. What kind of surprise attack mechanic is this? So outdated. Reading for a bit, Van Sam chuckled. Scrolling through forums is useful, so much info leaks from gossip alone. September 17th, 12th day of the hunt. At dusk, Van Sam delivered supplies, Tothyudin brought rats. The trade finished smoothly. He reached 10,000 contribution points and exchanged for 1 registration code. The list updated, registration code equals 10,000 points, 8 claimed. Looking back over 12 days, he sighed, first time in life, spending money feels hard. 2 days later, remaining grey rats were wiped out. September 20th, last day of the hunt. Ta Tin and Luke personally led teams to clear the wilds. After 3 p.m., Luke Min got the system message, around Hong Fong base, all grey. Rats eliminated. Beast type -1. Thus, the rat plague ended, and the hunt concluded. Van Sam checked the reward list, perfect quality soft armor equals 100 points, sold out, 4-star trainer, 1-hour session equals 100 points, sold out, 3-star leopard cub equals 450 points, 14 claimed, 3-star wolf dog cub equals 900 points, sold out, 1-year free lease of XX Street Shop equals 1,200 points, sold out, 4-star condor chick equals 5,000 points, 1 claimed, registration code equals 10,000 points, 7 claimed. From this, the Hong Fong base spent 3 codes and some supplies to achieve victory against the rat horde. Who else besides Tothyudin had the wealth to buy 1 remained unknown. Once order returned, Van Sam happily resumed her normal gaming life. During Duong Funan's raid, most wolf dogs had leveled up, the remaining dozen soon followed with training and feeding. Once all reached 3 stars, she ordered half to guard home, half to hunt daily for practice, and maybe extra meat. The plan worked. The wolf dogs grew fiercer, larger, more majestic. Unfortunately for neighbors, seeing dozens of 3-star beasts marching by each day made their legs tremble and hearts race. Many tenants packed overnight, fleeing the danger zone. Some homeowners who dreamed of peaceful rural life now questioned everything. A few even considered abandoning property to start over. Indeed, Van Sam was the worst neighbor imaginable. Eventually, everyone nearby moved out. As structures rebuilt and the plague faded, Lukeman recovered. Once, he'd lost control fighting a 4-star rat, but few died, and thanks to Van Sam's timely aid, he stabilized quickly. Today he called her in. "You earned great merit ending the rat crisis," he said. "How should I reward you?" That alone showed her unique status. Other players received preset rewards. She asked and got whatever she wanted, personalized treatment. Yet she pondered long and couldn't decide. During the event, her business flourished. Now she was a proper tycoon with land, grain, and herbs in storage. Next month, her clinic's profit would hit her account. She'd be counting stacks of points. What else could she want? Wealthy. Rich. Van Sam fell into deep thought. Seeing her silent, Lukeman continued, "You discovered the plague first, warned the base, captured the culprit, cured the infection. Whatever you desire, I'll grant." "Then give me land," she said after thinking. Many tenants moved out, lots of properties empty. "Give me those plots as reward." "They're scattered and unconnected," he frowned. "Hard to manage." "They'll merge eventually," she said lightly. When her Beast Legion expanded and more members rose to 4-star, the remaining residents would flee overnight, willingly transferring their deeds. By then, the entire East District would be hers. Thinking of reviving her past glory, she smiled brightly. Lukeman's eyes softened. "If you like it, they're yours. Besides land, anything else?" After a pause, he asked, "How about a high-tier beast cub?" "What kind do you like?" "Absolutely not." She'd built this empire from scratch, barely saving some resources. Feeding another beast would bankrupt her. "Nothing for now," she said quickly. "I'll tell you later." "All right," he nodded. "I'll keep it on tab."